Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go.
Okay, guys. Hi, welcome to the live. I'm trying to get my Streamlabs going there, but it's still not going yet. So when you see it say hello, it's because I'm trying to pop in Streamlabs here. So maybe for some reason it turned off. Anyways, I'll get it going. But anyways, happy Saturday. No, Saturday. I was gonna do a live yesterday, and I ended up not doing it. I don't know about you guys, but it was like super, super, super hot, and I like had no energy whatsoever. So, anyways, thank you guys for being here. I don't know why my Streamlabs isn't kicking in here, but anyways, Charmaine ended up doing a live with her brother's band yesterday, and so I seen that come on, and I was like, "What's Charmaine doing a live for at like 9 o'clock at night or something like that?" Anyways, so apparently, yeah, so we were watching that for a bit, some of us, and so for you guys that seen it, really good band. Some little bit of crazy dancers there. That was kind of funny. There was this one couple that was like just right there in front of the camera pretty much the whole time. Poor guy looked like he had a back issue going on. And then there was this one lady in the right, you guys that are watching that last night on Charmaine's live. Again, she was recording it for her brother's band so that they could take it from her Facebook or whatever and watch it. Her phone ended up dying about, I don't know, was it an hour and a half into it or something like that? Anyways, there was this this one dancer, like the man and the lady that were in front. Like I said, he had some sort of like Miami type shirt going on, but he looked like his back was broken the entire time. But then there was this one chick, she was off to the right, and every now and again when she would come into the picture, and she just didn't care what the world thought of her, man. She was just like, ah! She was just like freaking all over the place. And I was just like, now is that booze or is that her natural personality going on? Okay, I gotta see why my Streamlabs isn't kicking in here. Give me 1 second. Let's see. If you guys haven't hit that like for Jack and Lily, please do so. Oh, where's my Streamlabs? Come on. Where are you? 1 second here. Sometimes it turns off by itself. Let's see. CloudBot. Oh, it says off. Well, we don't want it off, do we? Okay, well, where's the on button? Hmm. I don't know. Why are you not working, Streamlabs? Like, why are you doing this crap to me? Uh, Minimum? I don't know. Let's try it again. Hello. Let's see if it kicks in. It's always my one thing. I'm just like, come on, Streamlabs. Uh, there. See, there you go. Okay, you guys. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad I made it here. Like I said, I'm sorry I didn't do a live yesterday when I said I was going to do one. I was just, you guys, like I said, it was just frigging hot, 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 hot. I was just like a lump in bed with the fan, spraying myself with water. And then at that point, I was just like, yeah, this is not going to happen. I got no energy. Helicopter grandma's in the house. I might have to watch the replay. Beautiful. We are at the trailer sending love and light to everyone as always. Thanks. Hi, helicopter grandma. Thanks for being here in and out. Hi, Sunny. It's been far too long. We need justice for Jack and Lily. Absolutely. We are getting close to not only the 16-month for Jack and Lily, but also to Danielle Martell's court date, which should be on September 3rd as well. And it will be very interesting because I do feel like this time that I don't see another postponement like we typically like. It's very normal that that happens, and the next thing you know, another month and another couple months, whatever. But I don't see it this time, so we'll see how all that transpires. Um, Regardless, I mean, actually, I wonder how you guys feel. We'll come back to that one in just a minute. When I'm asking you about that for a second, we want justice. High share cares, big hugs, love you, beautiful. That's the one that sends the pens and stuff like that. TJ's mom paying for truth and justice for Jack and Lily. Jesse's in the house. Marie Antoinette's in the house. JJ, how are you? Hello, everyone. I will be back in a bit. Has it been a bit? Hi, Cami. How are you? Hello, everyone. The happy farm gal. Good day, Sunny, from the farmlands of Southwest Ontario. Thank you all for your work. Thank you so much. Dam Grendel's in the house. Share cares. Hey, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Hubby's home on days off. I will be in and out. Oh, another in and outer. Okay. Hi, Sammy from Miami. Buck 99 super chat, super sticker there. Share cares 9 months. Share cares your time with your hubby. Oh, enjoy your time with your hubby. Come on now, Share cares. Get your priorities straight. Should be watching the live with your hubby right now. We want answers. We want justice. Bring them to bring them home. Absolutely. And he's out on his bike at the moment. Brenda, hopefully soon. Noni is in the house. I'll be popping in and out tonight, but I'm looking good to go. I think that is less any typos. Good to see you and everyone. Yeah, welcome you guys. Yeah, justice comes swiftly now. It's ridiculous. Hey, Joyous. Good afternoon, everyone. And Lynn. Hello, Sunny and everyone. May not get to watch All Daughter coming over. Hey, just one moment. Thank you.
$6 You're awesome. Thank you. Like blue heart emoji. 2 hearts emoji. Justice for Jack and Lily. 2 hearts emoji. Like blue heart emoji.
Thank you, Wisdom Beauty. I just I seen it or I heard it, I should say, but I'm not quite scrolling down there. But thank you so much for the super sticker. Um, Lynn says may not be able to watch all over for a minute. I'm still saying so. She gets here. She's always late. No problem. And it sounds like my daughter. You guys, I know, right? Shit, I was just lucky to get a thumbs up from my son. You still alive? I am. You know, he goes through these spurts all the time where 1 minute he'll answer my text message and then he'll ignore them. And then I'm just like, every once in a while, could you just let me know you're alive? And so I realized like a few days later when I said, I'm alive, are you? I realized that he gave a thumbs up on that message from a few days ago. But he always keeps going through these spurts of talking, then not talking. Whatever. It's been like a long time of that. So, but whatever. Anyways, hope you guys all had a great weekend so far with whatever it is you're doing. I know that obviously summer is kind of coming to the end, what we consider summer and stuff like that. But anyways, we'll be coming into September right quick. And of course, there's always the two holidays, Labor Day and then the Truth and Reconciliation Day, I believe it's called. I think it's called that. Daisy May. How are you guys? Okay. Brandy is in the house. Do. Everyone. Oh, evening, everyone's. I can't read either. Hi, Joyous. And hi, Sheila. How are you? Ryan Hunt. Okay. Sorry if I'm missing anyone. I'll just quickly scroll. Oh, Sharon Parker's in the house. Hey, Sharon. Big hugs. Love you, girl. Colleen, there was a $2 super sticker there from Colleen. Thank you, Colleen. Monica. Hey, Sunny. So I finally figured out what those jewels were, by the way, people. I finally actually read up on those. Everyone that was like giving jewels and stuff throughout the live on there. Apparently, it's like one jewel is 1 cent, something like that. Yeah, one jewel is like 1 cent. So 10 jewels must be 10 cents, obviously. Math genius here. Streamlabs is in the house, okay, guys. So make sure, dot your messages or your messages, I guess, properly. Else Streamlab tells you you're posting a link. Old Garden Gal's in the house. Alrighty. Oh, there we are. There it was. There's Wisdom Beauty. Thank you so much for that. Just glad you guys are here. To be honest with you, you guys know that my true crime community for this channel, you guys do mean a lot to me. Well, let me put it this way: all the nice, caring people are the ones that mean a lot to me, and we try to get rid of any of the trolls and the people that are just ignorant, nasty, sassy, type of thing that are that we just don't have the time of day for. We're here in a space of the community where everyone's entitled to their opinions and they can never think what they want, right? That's why we're all given separate brains. It just becomes about how someone is in the chat, and if they're just, bitches or dicks and stuff like that, and they're just rude and ignorant, then they can just go away. Because no matter what, everyone still has the right to think whatever they want and have their own opinion in regards to, well, in this particular case, Jack and Lily's, right? We don't have the answers ourselves. We can only speculate and guess. And Sing Birdie 10 jewels gold coin. I'm not sure. Oh, is that the emoticon that it is? Is that what it looks like? That part I'm not sure of. A treat. So I see all these little pictures for the jewels, but like I just remember reading it saying that it shows up as an overlay on, like, to me, an overlay is when it comes up on the screen and kind of does an overlay. Huh. So I'm kind of confused about that. Like, Streamlabs has that ability, but when I was reading it on YouTube, it says that it comes up as an overlay. And to me, like I said, an overlay is like, if you're watching some of the Streamlabs and a little, say, picture of whatever, an emoticon of some sort comes up, and it will be like 5 jewels or something like that. Donna, thank you as well for 5 treats, jewel treats. Hi, Tom Lou. Nice to see you. Let the trash take itself out. That's the long name there, isn't it? Sandy, thank you guys. So let's just start off chat with this part today. I did a poll up there, and what I wanted to ask you guys was looking into the future of Daniel Martell and the case that's against him. We all, right? We're not stupid. We all know that the RCMP pressed the charges, and we all know who victim is. Okay, so just your own thoughts on this. Do you think Daniel Martell will end up doing any sort of jail, prison time over when that particular case comes to a conclusion? So 1 for yes and 2 for no. So yes, if you feel like Daniel Martell will end up doing time, or 2 for no, that you don't think that anything's going to come out of it. 200 joules. Thanks, JJ. Bejewels. Now I gotta make a thing for all this bejeweling and stuff like that. Okay, just joining. Hi, Annabelle. Marie, sorry, says nope. 1 yes, 2 nope, nope. Kemi, nope. 1 yes, nope. Kind of torn on this, eh? Let's see. Hi, Daleen. 2 nope. 2, he doesn't have to face a criminal record. 2 nope. No banana. 1 dinosaur. 2. Oh, I like the fact that so many people are actually participating in this. It's kind of even in a sense, really. A lot of 1s, but a lot of 2s as well. You know, kind of like flipping a coin on this one. Daniel will not go to jail. Daniel will go to jail, but not right away. Gray Wolf, I hope, but realistically with our justice system too, right? You know, I'm gonna put out some one vibes myself. Yes, Daniel. I hope and pray that you get your just desserts, and whichever form that comes in, I'll be extremely happy for the sake of, regardless, Jack and Lily. Because to me, you and Malaya are what I would call a huge dose of bullshit, BS, lies, deception, manipulation. That's what I see personally. And so, you know, RCMP are the ones, like I said, you know, Daniel was only too happy to tell us. 1 second. 2. Member for 3 months. Thanks, Gray Wolf. So thing about that is that, like I said, RCMP are the ones that initiated the charges for this. Why did they do that? Because they have evidence to back up these charges, okay, in video form. So that's why they, you know, I think kind of like Charmaine said it before as well. You know, if you see a crime and you ignore it, in a sense, you know, or perhaps you see something that's a crime and maybe you kind of think that it has something to do with Jack and Lily's case and stuff like that, chances are perhaps you're gonna, you know, take that other evidence, you know, apply it. And this is just my own thoughts, as whether it's like a tool to be used in answer for Jack and Lily, and maybe, you know, blah, 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 on sides and stuff like that. So yeah, so they probably love to have him in there doing time so they can get fast. Well, like I said, you know, we got nothing better to do in a sense than talk about, you know, obviously Daniel, Malaya, you know, Jack and Lily's case, right? Because at the end of the day, we're just waiting for the answers, and we're waiting to understand the truth of what happened to Jack and Lily. And obviously, if you don't have the answers, all you can do is bring awareness to the case, talk about the case, speculate on the case, and speculate on your thoughts. Um, so, and in this case, like I said, I always like to talk about things that they've said because those are their own words, regardless of truth or lies and all that stuff. It's still it's their words, right? Because going back to the gist of everything, it's about trying to understand what happened to Jack and Lily. But you feel like while you're following this case, well, how can you understand what happened to Jack and Lily if the people on the property you don't feel are being truthful to the situation of Jack and Lily? And so then that leads you to a timeline. That how do you believe in a timeline that's created by people on the property, but yet, again, statistics show that usually a family member or people that know Jack and Lily would be the ones responsible. So the poll, Malay is going against the grain of the RCMP by saying that she thinks that someone took them, right? That possibly someone took them. Well, the RCMP have not only time and time again doubled down the fact that this is basically like that's like no Amber Alert went out. And to me, that's just a big telltale sign of, that no, some random person did not take these children. I believe that the RCMP have the answers, or at least they have a good, definite idea of a lot of it. But then it becomes truly about the evidence. But here's Malaya, Daniel, Daniel, right? This story, that story. Oh, let me just change it up, right? Malaya, second interview, right? So she's going against the grain of what the RCMP are saying. Why? Chances are because we can't have the fingers pointing towards her in her eyes, right? Just like Daniel, to me, they have to be pointing in another direction, of course, right? So let's see here. We have so many criminals on the street currently who have committed heinous crimes. So doesn't matter what you've done around here. Okay, 1 second. I hear a kitty cat meowing underneath my feet. Okay, 1 second. Just they need evidence, but DM is a slippery. Well, that's kind of one of the things I wanted to do on this particular live, which I've not done it this way before, but I'm gonna pull up mine and Daniel's conversations during the time of this case, that what he said and stuff like that. And I just figured I'd scroll down my messenger of when I spoke with Daniel and put it out there that way instead of just blocks of different things and stuff like that, and just review some of that stuff. But before I do get on with that, I have to say, you guys have supported and been so gracious enough for Belinda's GoFundMe. I know that there's a little something in the mix right now, but I don't really want to talk about it until, Belinda finds out the answer of if she's has retained a lawyer or not at this point. But thank you to some people that were in and the chat that sent a couple emails and stuff like that. But thank you for everyone that's really trying to assist Belinda by giving her leads to lawyers and the different things, or supporting the GoFundMe. So just quickly, I want to make this bigger because there was some donations prior to me doing my last live. So I want to start off with obviously a big one that was done 9 days ago. It was $696. Obviously, that must be with some money coming out from GoFundMe there, but $696 from Joyce Knowlting. Belinda Blisk is $200 7 days ago. Just the Facts Mom, Joyous Noise, $100 4 days ago. Pinky Macintosh, $100 7 days ago. Beth Hindi, $69 7 days ago. Just the Facts Mom, Joe Friday, again, $35 4 days ago. And then Karen Johnson Johnson, $25 7 days ago. So I just want to take a moment to say, thank everyone that has been supporting. One second here. I will share this copy link. 1 second here. I'm going to post that link in here again. But because of you, okay. Oh, no, that's because I just put that up there. But because of you beautiful people out there that have assisted, you guys cranked it over the 6,000 mark at this point. Belinda, like I said, she hasn't used any of it. She's saving it for the lawyer. And again, we'll see how that transpires. But it definitely will be costing money. And lawyers are not cheap. But we'll see what happens in the near future with that. But it's just a beautiful thank you to all you guys that have had the ability to assist and help out, whether it's a like, whether it's a beautiful comment to Belinda in here, whether it's a share, whether it's just, putting up like I said, a super chat towards Belinda that you guys have done, whether it's on here, Cheryl, Share Cares, making all these beautiful pens and getting the pens and all that made. And, I still got my dinosaur pen and my unicorn pen that I got from the Dollar Tree when I seen those, and the stickers and, all those beautiful things that are being done by people like Cheryl that has been using her own money to keep buying things. And I know Charmaine's buying stuff for Darius as well. But anyways, it takes a bunch of great, beautiful hearts and people to do stuff like this. So I just personally want to say thank you. Like this channel, when I found out about the GoFundMe, will support Belinda in any way possible. And thank you guys for being there for her too. So thank you. And Belinda was on a couple of lives, as you guys know, and she didn't ask me. She doesn't have to ask me. I just want to do it because I know that Belinda just, like I said, she's, we'll see where she's at right now. Like I said, she has some lawyer's name and stuff like that, and potential, and we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. But it's definitely not going to be a cheap, it's not going to be probably free, definitely. But whatever Belinda needs to do, I'm fully supportive of that, and I know you guys are too. Okay, absolutely. I personally, myself, and I know it might sound cheesy, but always the thing that has always fulfilled my heart is when you can fill somebody or other people's hearts by your kindness in life and gestures that you do, to make somebody else's day and stuff like that. To me, that's the ultimate thing that you can do, is just unselfishly do stuff for others. And even if you don't have nothing, sometimes people just need an ear to listen to them and stuff like that. But anyways, I love beautiful hearts. It warms my heart so much. And thank you guys. Hi, Leanne. Yep. So thank you guys. I can't say this enough. I can say it 1,000 times, but I can't say this enough about the beautiful, kind hearts out there that truly are just caring. They don't come in here to try to, take away from Jack and Lily's case. In fact, they just want to be, part of, following the case because you're invested in finding out the answers. And Belinda being the biological grandmother of Jack and Lily, whoever would take away from that is just pathetic and sad to me, to be honest with you. Have you seen the MOS video on Nana B? I personally haven't. Um, no. Oh, there's Belinda right there. The generosity of all Lily and Jack's voices. You guys are the heroes. This is what family truly means. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Sunny. Absolutely. And again, to me, my YouTube family, for this channel, it means a lot to me, truly. I don't need like outside people in my life to fulfill it and stuff like that. And you know what? I'll just be honest about that. It's mostly because in my life, I didn't need a lot of friends. What I always wanted was just solid friends, solid, trusting, good friends. And after you get burnt by people and you wonder, like one of my best friends, she was cheating on her husband. And I told her that she really shouldn't have told me that, because if ever the day came that her husband asked me about it, don't expect me to lie for you. And we were really good friends. And that day came. And of course, she ended up getting upset at me and stuff like that. And I'm like, really? Like, first of all, when your husband called, all I said was talk to you. Secondly, I already told you that if the day ever came. But anyways, there's been some really good burns in my life. So I don't need people when it comes to my real life. I just like being around my husband and having some. I can't actually say that I have one friend in real, like one true friend. But on the internet, I've met some wonderful people that I consider my friends. Charmaine, she knows she's one of them. Alexa. Oh, by the way, Alexa, she's the criminal profiler. So she's on vacation. But when she does come back, which is going to be in September, she will be joining a live. But I will say that she said she had watched just a very small portion of Malaya's interview. And all that came out of like the one message to me about that was it's fake. That basically anything that she saw so far is just fake on that. So, but it will be interesting when Alexa comes on, because she was a criminal profiler for like 16 years, graphologist and body language expert. So it will be really nice when she has the ability to come on that. But anyways, so I just want to go back to saying that my true crime community people, you guys mean a lot. I see you guys, like most of you, all the time and stuff like that. To me, you're my community, and I get enough love in that from you guys, whether it's in Messenger or in here, that fills up my cup of love. So thank you guys. Milky Way's in the house. Love that name. Yes, ma'am. It's in the house. Pinky says, we stand with you, Belinda Gray. Absolutely. I would love to donate, but can't anything right now because every dime I need is for medical expenses. Again, just the love and support and stuff like that is more than enough. It's again, no one's asking anyone to break their piggy banks or anything like that. People have the ability just to hit that like button, get it out and, keep it out in the algorithm and stuff like that. That means a lot as well, right? That's all Belinda's trying to do in the search for answers, just keeping Jack and Lily's faces and being voices for them out there. Hi, Sky Painter. That is what people with integrity do. There is always time to do the right thing. Always time. Yep, burned bad by friends. I'm not a social person. I have my family and YouTubers. Yeah, after a while, you just start getting jaded by some of that stuff, and I just don't need it. I'm really not this drama person. I like to have fun and joke around and stuff like that, but I don't like, even in my own family, I don't like being in the middle of any drama. I just avoid. Like, it's not that I avoid it. I'll basically tell you to fuck off with your shit. and then, avoid it type of idea. Because I'm just not, that's why I actually deleted my Facebook many years ago. Because every time I opened up my Facebook, all I saw was people bitching and whining and complaining about the stupidest shit ever, especially family members. And I literally deleted my Facebook years ago, and I created a new one, and I didn't add any family members to it for a long, long time. Even now, there's only a few on my Facebook, but I don't use my Facebook hardly ever unless I'm posting something. I hardly ever post, or if I see an old thing, I just can't. I'm just not into like the drama of Facebook. So that's why I stay away usually from Facebook groups and all that crap, and the odd time I've gone into one. And it's just because I just don't have a lot of use for Facebook and Facebook drama shit. I like it because of Messenger. Same here. Just my own business. Hubby is my best friend. Then I have customers and you guys. Aw. JJ, hugs to you. Life is a struggle. Says Jack and Lily's names, and keeping them in your heart means the world for them. Absolutely. Tom Lou, there are still many people that care and are good, kind, caring, loving people with good vibes and huge hearts for Jack and Lily. Yeah, for the most part, you know, I know that the world can be a shit place to be in and live in and stuff like that. And people go through a lot of different things in their lifetime, and some good and some bad. But I think that most people, I think that there is a lot of kindness in the world. But then, geez, I always can get conflicted with that, because there's a lot of fake people that think that they're good and kind and nice. But anyways, I think that if I was to go with it, I think overall, most people have, good intentions. Most. And there's a lot of fucktards in this world too. I work and have a house full of kids and grandkids. Yeah. I don't have any. Sing Birdie, the focus needs to be Jack and Lily. I don't even respond to the people who trash me. I know my intentions are nothing but wanting the truth. No hidden agenda. I cannot be chased away because I care. Yeah. Just seems like there's like a lot of this off trackness, with I just feel like this in some situations, not all, but in certain channels, definitely. I think that there's a lot of things that are brought up that have nothing to do with Jack and Lily, even though they're presenting them that they have Jack and Lily and stuff like that. But that stuff to me is just side crap, just useless shit that doesn't bring answers for finding Jack, or answers about Jack and Lily, about the truth of what happened. The people that absolutely should be under fire are the people that were on the property that day, with all the different things that we've learned throughout the case about CPS, about black eyes, and all these things, about two people that claimed that they were in bed as Jack and Lily managed to maneuver out of the house and underneath their supervision. And then you got Malaya sitting there saying that she demands answers. That's a big whopper kiss my ass, right? It's so insulting to even hear her say that, considering it's regardless because of them. And that's just like almost an entitlement, almost like a slap in the face to us, that a mother actually would rather talk about that than the actual victims here of Jack and Lily. Refrain from sending long messages. Refrain. Is that what it's? I don't know. Is that what it said? I can't read as fast as it can delete messages on there. I can only say I'm only Team Lily and Jack. All the teams hate me equally because I speak my mind. Well, I mean, that's the whole bottom line of it. It's really Team Lily and Jack. Whether somebody wants to side with Malay or Daniel or whatever they want to do, don't really care about that part, really, because it just be about Lily and Jack. Daniel and Malaya, they're just like, they're the important noise, but it's the answers for Jack and Lily that matter the most out of all of this. Whatever happens to those two, you know, just reap what you sow, in a sense. Whatever you put out to the universe, and it comes back to them and stuff like that. For any lies or deception or bullshit or what happened to Jack and Lily, like I said, you know, uh, may it come in a thundering force back at them, if they had anything to do. Well, they did have something to do with Jack and Lily disappearing, regardless. Um, Most people have kind hearts, want to help. Somebody good for you, Team Jack and Lily. Okay, I have questions too. Welcome. I have a lot of opinions being present. A lot of presenters are being presented as facts. Yeah. Well, I just like facts myself. Sometimes you can't necessarily show the receipts of what you deem as facts. Um, because I guess that can be loosely, determined. Because obviously the documents, right? That's just a lot of what people said. No, even if that they're part of the whole family and fandango and shit, those aren't. That's factual when there's no errors, of course, but it's factual that they said those things, but that doesn't mean that it's factual to the truth of really what happened. And so, again, and it's kind of like sometimes when you get information and stuff from people, um, there's certain tiers to me of believability and not, but I always like to use the words for sure that Janie saying, Daniel saying, Malaya saying, pretty much any family member saying, whether it's Haley, and stuff like that. It's just, y- it's just what I don't understand about this is that you have two children missing, and the weirdness of it all for Jack and Lily, right? People don't want to talk or they want to say things behind this, you know, and you don't see this big, presence from actual family members, besides Belinda, excluding Daniel, because he's part of, the equation in a sense. But besides Belinda, you don't really see this ongoing, I want to speak the truth type of thing from all these people that would, you know, normally it's like, I mean, I just don't get it, right? Malaya, Cindy, not speaking properly. Like, why do you have to hide your face? You're talking about two grandchildren that are missing. But how hard is it to step up to the plate and just advocate the fact that you want people to help bring awareness and stuff like that for Jack and Lily? Why is it all so messed up, fucked up, and weird that all this is happening? It's almost like it's just bullshit, is what it is. Two children are missing, and just watching this case unfold the way it has is it's such a tragedy to Jack and Lily, in all of this about what's all been transpiring and all the nastiness, right? Malaya and Daniel should absolutely be looked at as suspects, in a sense, or persons of interest. And same with Janie, right? There's no answers yet. We don't give a shit that someone passed some questions on a polygraph test that are not admissible and stuff like that. It's just about when you're not hearing the truth, and it's like it just hits you. You don't have to think about it because you can just feel it. It hits you when people are being deceptive and lying and they're trying to cover up something. Anyways, okay. So, again, thanks for everyone that has supported the GoFundMe. I'm just gonna copy that link, share that one more time. Just gonna hit refresh in case anybody else did while I was talking. Nope. Okay. And paste. It's hot. It's hot in here. Lynn says, I'll read this. Daniel saying he went in and around dark and thought the kids were already in bed, and M saying that they were hyper and went to bed late. What happened in between, around dark, in bed? I know. It's all just, honestly. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is stop, share screen. Okay. So, just to reiterate, I am going to, thanks, Peggy. Hey, Peggy. Um, is this the one? Okay, hold on. I gotta do something first. Okay. Okay, share. Okay. So thanks, Peggy, for the 350 joules. I can see them fine. Okay. So what I'm gonna pop myself more off the screen so you guys can hopefully see it a little bit better. But I'm gonna start with this is mine and Daniel's conversation, basically from the beginning of time here. Um, I'm not gonna bother, like I'm not gonna waste my time or your guys' time by showing you a little bit above this. It makes no difference really, like this stuff here. This was really about when he got mad at Charmaine and, about taking down that live because, he was all pissy because, Malaya was getting threats and blah, blah, blah. So the first two things that you're seeing on the screen, though, that's at the time that Daniel had sent over his screenshots of Lily and Jack being called into school. Hi, Auntie. How are you? For being steady voice and a backup for the precious grandma who obviously loves him. Absolutely. Um, all good. MBM family is helping her set up a not in her right mind scenario. I'm so damaged from this, etc. Trying to get her not to go to jail when this is over. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hi, Snarky Pants. Just so much sketchy stuff from people who should know what happened. Uh, Malaya said she put Lily and Jack to bed between 10 and 10:30. Daniel said he came in coming around 8 and the kids were asleep. Yeah, and then he changed it, Belinda, that he didn't know if they were asleep or not. Like I said, their whole little Wednesday, Thursday, Friday timeline it's just all sketch. I mean, really. It's like Thursday. You got Janie saying she fed them snacks. Lily's sick with a cough, but yet she goes to town. They go to a full blown day of town and then to Dollarama. What, to buy cough syrups or a toy for the kids? What? Right? Like, give me a break. But, anyways, but it's when Daniel said that uh the what was his name? Can't think of his name now. But the sergeant that was with the dog narc or whatever and said, like, basically, Daniel, we don't believe you. You're not giving basically enough details about Thursday. Because, right, Malaya and Daniel, it was just a normal day, just any other day. No, it wasn't. It wasn't any normal other day. You guys went into town. Lily was sick, and you went up to all these different stops. And that's not a regular day. A regular day would be the kids would have been in school, going to school, getting off the bus and coming home, waking up on Friday, doing the same repeat again. But no, Lily was sick, and it wasn't just a regular day. But again, when you try to hone in on it and stuff like that, it's kind of like when I was honing in on Daniel, and I was like, well, Daniel, what happened between 8:30 to 9:40? Like, where's your timeline there? And he's like, he literally said, and maybe it's just because he didn't, he was just kind of maybe caught off guard at that moment, but he's just like saying, I don't know. And when you listen to Malaya, when she was doing her interview, you literally watched her skirt over that part of the timeline. Me and Daniel, well, I woke up and I said I don't hear the kids. And then she basically goes to the 911 call as if nothing else happened during that time, just skirting over it, you know? And maybe that's because that was the basics of their simplicity of their story, in a sense. Anyways, I'm going to take myself off screen. I'll make this bigger. Hold on. Just going to power back a drink of water. All right. So if I click on this, do you guys actually see it that way? Oh, you guys do. Okay. So let's see here. This is confirmed this safe arrival has received a planned absence report for your student Lily Sullivan. May 2nd, illness. For more date, time 6/18, 2025. For more information, using the school messenger mobile app, go to school messenger website, or contact the school. Okay, so that's Lily's. And this one is at 6/17 for Jack. This is to confirm the absent for your student Jack. See, Jack wasn't even sick, but of course, that's just lazy ass. Well, no, that's just a lie right there. May 2nd, full day, illness, etc. Okay. So that's kind of when Daniel Martell started talking to me. You guys remember this? The emergency number 911 outgoing call was 9 minutes and 45 seconds at 10:01 on May 2nd, Friday, for calling in Jack and Lily. Okay, so again, for anyone coming into the live stream, if you haven't hit that like and the share for Jack and Lily, please do. And also, we're going over my messages with Daniel Martell from basically when we started talking. You can see that this is what is this? I guess that's May 8th. Is that May 8th? I hate it because so many times must be May 8th, right? No, hold on. This is July. Okay. So no, this is August 2nd, because this would be July. So it's month first. Yeah. When did we start talking? That was me sending a message. That was back in, January, February, March, April, May 18th. And then when he first actually started sending, that was August 2nd. Then, okay, let's see here. Okay. So I said to him, Malay and Cheryl wanted me to shut down Darren and all his BS. Maybe there is true reason for it, reverse psychology, to use me as a tool bit. Just out of all this was a truthful timeline. So Daniel says, and sorry guys, I can't make it bigger than this. Daniel says, listen, Sonny, remember the other day Belinda asked investigators, do you have any suspects? Investigators said no. I asked investigators about what him and Belinda talked about, and he told me everything. Then I brought up that she put the statement that RCMP have no suspects. He then goes on telling me that he regrets telling her because he thought she would have kept it to herself. Can you imagine if I said that? I thank Belinda for that. Darren was so close to talking to Malaya a month ago, but Cindy and her family said nope. Us three on the property did not harm the kids. When I say I cooperate with major crimes, I really do. I tell them everything. I mean everything. I tell them every time I'm in close proximity to Malaya for court or CPS. I tell them if I'm going to no service areas. That must be when those helicopters go up in the area because he goes into these no service areas, eh? Remember those helicopters that are instantly, trying to protect him and make sure that he's okay and safe? Mhm. Mhm. Um, let's see. I said, I do thank you for sharing that. And if the timeline Kent is referring to you told him, it is plausible to be true, but please understand inconsistencies are never a good thing and it will ruin any credibility. And Darren speaking for you all was not good at all. As you know, the public will pounce on anything. True crime is harsh, and as you can see, as Charmaine and I have stated, we always wanted to believe in you, but your actions have shown different. If I poke a bear, it's with intent. Jack and Lily, Daniel. And you're right. If you would have said no suspects, no one would have believed it. And he goes, I tell them everything or about everything, Kent. Well, it's not, he obviously got his wording wrong there. Um, I have them watching your show. Jim Walker, which you guys know is Tent, Alana King. I give them any locations the kids could possibly be. I gave them DNA. I was the one that insisted that the blanket was important to the case. Major crimes kept telling me it wasn't. Oh, fuck me. Whoops. But look now, the blanket is being sent for forensics. I can't share information on the forensics, but I was given info. I also have information on cadaver dogs, but was told not to share. Sonny, the RCMP statements put out, I know a few days in advance. I was supposed to take a second round of polygraph exams, but when they said they were no longer necessary, I asked why, but they declined to answer and skirted past the question. Almost sounds like when Malaya said, "Why aren't you asking me the question of did you have anything to do with the disappearance?" And they said, "That's a great question," but they still wouldn't ask her it. Huh. Sonny, major crimes works around the clock, and a lot of overtime. In the last month, investigators have only came to me in person one time. I go to them 3 times a week. All I'm saying is that it's not easy being the main target. But if I'm the target, then the parties involved need only to make one mistake. I also help trying to come up with every possible situation the kids could be in, such as the area probably isn't urban because risk factors are too great and kids couldn't go outside. Uh, and the kids couldn't go outside with is a fucking sin. The individual or individuals that do that to kids are probably older or retired, possibly due to the fact that they can supervise the kids without working. If they do, so basically, right, this is under the scenario that the kids were taken, and that basically, and if if he's using his, of course, random um, knowledge from the internet, that it's obviously got to be older people that have the ability of not to go to work, or one does and the other ones can watch them. And it's a fucking sin that they can't go outside pretty much. And if they do work, they would have to swap in supervising the kids. On the other option is there is a couple that has the kids so that they are supervised without the need for phone calls or messages that leave a possible trail of evidence. I've helped since day one, didn't hide all the leak stuff on the case from me. I slowly leaked it over time to keep the kids in the news so that they wouldn't be forgotten. Freaking saint right there, guys. Freaking saint. Uh, do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Okay. No one sees what I'm doing behind the scenes, Sonny. That's what I'm trying to say too. It breaks my heart to see all of this. It also breaks my heart that I know things but can't speak on because it will harm the investigation. Another thing, Commander of Operations pulled me aside after the day Malaya left and told me, "We now see you as the primary guardian for the kids, and everything we tell you is more detailed and much longer than the 2-minute phone calls we have with Malaya." I went up to the command center every day before briefs. On the last day of the search, commander of operations of search and rescue pulled me aside privately, one on one, and said to me, "Daniel, we brought in classified technology. We got the approval from the federal government. And I'm so sorry, Daniel. We don't believe they're in the woods." Every day I walk outside, Sonny, I have a grim reminder of May 2nd. I see colorful ribbons by the thousands. I did all those camera interviews for what? Not for fun, that's for sure. I lost everything from this disappearance. I can't spend my time I can't spend time with my kids. 1 second here. Oh, this was the big ass long one, wasn't it? Um, where was I? But one thing still remains. When Meadow grows up, she will see that dad did do lots for her sister and brother. He didn't hide. Even my other two kids wanted to help me search, but my ex wife said no, which was the right thing. Kids don't belong in a search area. Cheryl's sister brought her kid, which should have never been. That's Shelby. Um, Commander of operations even came privately to me and my brother and asked us if anything could be improved. It could be improved on. First thing my brother said is, "Why the fuck was that young kid around the search area with missing kids? His tracks could have caused false evidence." The blanket was not in a tree that morning. I drove up that road, my father and three of my uncles. The searchers and RCMP did as well. My neighbor walked up that road 2 days prior. The narrative may be shifted at me by everyone on the other side, but I'm not going to bash Malaya. Too late at that point. Let's see here. I'm not going to bash Malaya. If she wanted out, that's fine. If it was a huge plan developed by her friends, so be it. Malaya never hung out with Cheryl before the disappearance. Malaya and Cheryl, Shelby, and Haley, or Malaya had Cheryl, Shelby, and Haley blocked on her phone, and she blocked them on mine as well. Well, Sonny, you have your story. Take what you want from it. If I get, I'll get a Dan, what the fuck, damn, what the fuck are you doing from investigators? I'll always be, oh, I've always had a warrior spirit. I don't hide. Investigators told me just live your life and say something of this perhaps is a small start. Always remember, I'll remain the target as long as it takes. This case isn't calming down. I don't think it should, but the results are not where they need to be, and it only hurts Jack and Lily. I also wanted to give you a little advice that could help parents out there. During school days on a calendar, write the description of your outfit your kids were wearing. I woke up one day and my life changed forever. I gained absolutely nothing from this disappearance of Lily and Jack. Lost access to all my kids. Mom gained nothing from the disappearance. She looked after and did more with those kids than Malaya's family. My whole family did everything they could during the search. Anyways, that's one long screenshot right there. It's a short story. My family sat me down after she abandoned the search and explained to me, Daniel, they're not in the woods. The RCMP said it's not an abduction. So if they're not in the woods and a not an abduction, I went over the conversation I had earlier, and her family and friends earlier. Wait, what was that? I had earlier. Wait, I went over the conversation I had earlier with Commander of Operations for Ground Search and Rescue about the kids. I'm done rambling. There's your content for the next few days. Sorry, top dog. That's an inside joke. Okay. I'm just going to come back for a second. Yeah, classified. Does anyone know what classified technology is? Something to do with, I think, the drones and shit like that. It was. Hi, Mick back. Hello, everyone. Shouldn't he be upset if he's the target, if he's innocent? No. He's still got the warrior spirit, Milky Way. That means RCMP. So this was a case for me, or this part of this whole conversation. For whatever reason, Daniel was always trying to get me to believe in what he was saying. He was, at this point though, I was just using him. He was just using me in the sense of saying this stuff and basically like, well, here's your big screenshot. Do with it what you will for the next couple of days. And I was just like, well, they're still your words. So no matter what, it's your typing, it's your words and stuff like that, whether people believe in him or not believe in him and stuff like that. I mean, isn't it a little bit ironic though that when you kind of listen to this again and then you listen to Malaya's interview, both times these people have made it about themselves more than Jack and Lily. Like, it's like Jack and Lily are the undertone and that Malaya deserves answers and, demands answers and stuff like that. And there was never this outcry for Jack and Lily or whoever has them that obviously possibly could have taken them, and stuff like that. It was more about how her trauma and stuff like that, right? Daniel, I'm going to take it on the chin. I know everyone's blaming me, that the blanket had basically, the police didn't believe that blanket had anything to do with anything. But you said, Daniel, that the police said that they believe that the blanket was planted. But you're saying that only because of you that they took this blanket in for evidence because you thought it was a big part of the case. Like, delusion? Again, Daniel is trying to portray that he has done all this stuff for Jack and Lily. And it comes off as so arrogant and egotistical and self-absorbing, just like Malaya's interview did. And what does that say to you right there when you listen to these own people's words? And then you ask yourself, is Jack and Lily really the priority? Or is the priority about you and Daniel covering up your asses because you guys know exactly what happened to Jack and Lily? But both people have really made it about themselves in talking. With Daniel, there's just so much shit that he's given himself credit for, in this whole thing about what, what the RCMP, whatever, or rescue operations guy is telling him, and how that they talk to him more than the 2 minutes that they give Malaya, yet Malaya's family saying, yeah, no, RCMP, give us updates. But then by the same token, Malaya's saying, but it's not good enough. I want to know more. I demand answers. Kiss my ass. That's funny. Anita told me that same thing. Just live your life, right? Yeah, right. Just quickly. So again, for anyone coming in, we're reading Daniel Martell's messages between me and him in the messenger. So I've never shown it this way, even though you guys might remember some of it. Sometimes you don't remember stuff, and then you're like, "Oh, right, did he say that really? Yeah, he did." Just little. Again, does it make it truthful? No. It's just words coming out of Daniel's and Malaya's mouth? Does it have meaning? Uh, you know, uh, of believability and stuff like that. Again, we're at the point that it doesn't matter to me what either of them say. None of it's truthful until we get an honest answer to what happened to Jack and Lily by the RCMP and possible arrests and stuff in the future and answers. Why would DM abuse? Why would DM abuse the children? Which ones? I mean, according to Daniel, his own children outed him for abusing Jack and Lily. That's out of Daniel's own messages himself. Hmm. You know? Yes, ma'am, but there's a lot of Starlink and still a lot of data available. And yeah. Yes, ma'am, cell pings can even be picked up if it's not bandwidth from phone calls. Also, Bluetooth pings are now being used. Okay, so I'm going to take myself back off on there and then we'll go read some more. Okay. So I said, well, shit, dang, Daniel, that's going to take me a minute to read. Was not expecting this. Your fingers must be tired. You guys, when I saw Daniel typing, I had my freaking fingers ready to screenshot, right? That thing literally took about an hour. And then he finally hit enter. I think at that point, I was in the kitchen and I raced back because there's no way I was not going to, save these messages. That was a fuck of a long wait. I want to tell you that. That was like pain and suffering waiting for that man to freaking finally hit enter. Anyways, you always say it is about Jack and Lily. And I'm not saying it's not, but someone has them, Sonny, and it's certainly not me or anyone I have contact with. I'm not a bad person, Sonny. It's everyone has a different perspective of life and the experiences individuals have and the upbringing. It takes a lot for someone to change their beliefs, and I'm not saying they have to. Everyone is entitled to what they want to believe, because if we had that, no one would be unique and we wouldn't have minds to see every angle of not just this investigation, but its life in general. I hope the supporters of this show get to see a long form message like this interesting. It's more in depth than just one line sentences I produce in the shows. I don't recall seeing that part. I produce in the shows. It's almost like a Netflix deal going on there. Anyways, then I'm more famous for typically sending voice messages, so I'm not even going to bother to play those. I can't give anything to harm the case. I'm not bashing people anymore. Pour on the allegations, just add to the pile. Another lie will not hurt at this point. One thing you'll never see is my family or friends attacking anyone. Think we've seen it, Daniel. All right. I'm not saying Malaya did it, but leaving in front of investigators and RCMP with a shocking exit wasn't a good idea. Telling Officer Carol Mason there was no evidence in the home and she felt the safest and happiest with me wasn't a good idea considering the allegations, but against me. Logan overheard that conversation. Logan was willing to help Malaya in any way. Same with Darren. He wanted to talk to Malaya to see if he could help. Logan was there with Malaya the first 2 days. The 2 first days she was there. I had Logan taking all the calls for me for RCMP and news outlets so I could spend my time searching. Still to this day, lay in my bed trying to come up with another answer. It's not for money, it's not for fame. It's so two little kids get to enjoy their childhood, because right now, what kind of fucking childhood is this they're having? Then it was like, just share it, Sonny. I have nothing to lose at this point. Share it. I included that inside joke for a reason. The inside joke was about this sorry top dog. That's an inside joke. Let's see. Not yet, Daniel. Never answered my question. Janie sent Justin over to a park, the old school, on Saturday to keep everyone off the property. Wanted to know why. He said, no, that never happened. The old schoolhouse doesn't have a park either. It had 2 swings 15 years ago. I sat on them for years as a kid. We hosted community Christmas parties there for the whole neighborhood. That's how the community was brought together for the case. Everyone helped search. Mom's timeline is considered the gold standard in the case. Malaya said that the timeline is off and investigators have the right one. Mom's is the same one investigators have. When, Daniel, is that the one that investigators said that they didn't believe your mama? That one you're talking about? Yep. Mom's is the same one investigators have. When you say I first said it wasn't the blanket, then it was. That's a miscommunication. There was 2 blankets. The tree one that grew wings and flew up the road. And there was another one brought to my attention by Officer Carol Mason that was also pink, but not Lily's or Jack's. And then he said, sorry, just got off phone with the investigators. So I said, nope, all good. Just getting ready for tonight's live. The pink blanket in the window. What is that one in the pictures from the interviews? The large section of the blanket was taken from the garbage by RCMP when I called it in. The one in the tree was probably the one in the interviews. I don't watch my interviews. Fucking liar. Fuck you. Bullshit. You watch your damn interviews. Bullshit. You're a narcissist. Of course you watch your interviews. Both are part of the same blanket. The other one that wasn't theirs was complete. That's it's not showing it. I guess maybe because it's too old. When I said all it was the picture of the pink blanket that was in one of the bedrooms, and it was a solid pink one. Anyways, and he said the part in the tree and part in the garbage equals full blanket. Full blanket equals yes to door, not window. It was never on a window. It was a door. And the one I was showing him in that picture was on the window, which was just a complete pink blanket. So he says something like internet detectives for you, that miscommunication earlier. I can see why people thought I lied. Another thing that I can clear up with 2 answers is I asked officers at New Brunswick, PEI, and all airports. Okay, so he asked for officers to be at NBPEI and all airports, but RCMP told me it's not a concern. I found that odd. I also know now why an Amber Alert was never issued. I asked one of the officers why there was no Amber Alert sent out, and he kept skirting around the question. I think he was given the information that the case was not abduction because abduction is considered by an unknown individual. I hear you, Bambi. Individual or party. They already had knowledge that I gave them I gave, sorry, let me read that again. They already had knowledge that I gave when me and Commander of Operations had to sit down inside my mother's car and they asked me, was Lily sick? And I said, well, yesterday she was, but it was a cough. I seen her this morning poking in the room. No cough, looked fine to me. Commander, I wouldn't have kept them home. He just smirked and said, Daniel, thanks. I'll let you go, and I promise we'll do everything we can. People want to pressure the RCMP, but I'm never doing that. Why pressure the main contributors to help finding the kids? Hmm, yeah. The ones that just brought in RCMP dogs just for just to make viewers happy, the public happy. I already told RCMP I'm not accepting a cold case. Investigators know my life inside and out. Malaya and me had no arguments. Ha! That would contradict the fact that you said that it was Malaya that hit you. Ha! See? Hypocrite. Liar. She was hugging me and crying on my shoulder until the briefing where she left. It shocked RCMP, but most of all, Cindy told her to get in the car now. Meadow was already in the car, and the only goodbye I got to give to Meadow was walking after the car and putting my hand on the window to say goodbye. Daddy loves you. That's fucking heartbreaking, Sonny. Then after the heartbreaking moment, I turned around to see 100 searchers, RCMP officers, and investigators shocked and mind blown. I know you don't get that understanding from me in chat with one sentence answers. I'm not looking for damage control. I'm only showing the struggle and the insight into the events that behind the scenes I'll remain the target as long as it takes. I told investigators that they said, I know you will, Dan. No, I told investigators that and they said, I know you will, Dan. So the investigator said, yeah, I'll remain the target as long as it takes. And the investigators are like, we know you will, Daniel. Good on you, pal. The judgment doesn't matter because while everyone is entitled to speak their mind, we all do judge and we are all human and we are living for the first time. Kind of deep. Just if you're going to judge, analyze all the data, read, watch videos, don't have your heart set on some time from a small piece of information. Like, I hope everyone takes something away from these messages. And if not, that's fine. At least you took time to read it. And that means your heart is in the right place for Lily and Jack. Wasn't that just a cup full of hot chocolate right there? Okay. Okay, you guys just give me a second. I'll be right. Come back to the what, see what chat's saying. Anyways, that made me laugh. Anyways, you guys give me a second. My cat wants out and I'm just going to get more water. Okay? Be right back. Okay. Thanks, you guys. Okay, so just gonna come back for a second here. Okay, so Half Moon says, does anyone else remember hearing the children were kept home because of tummy ache / sick? No. I think we all have held back what we really want to say. No, I don't think I've held back. Yeah, just a cough. Yeah, just sick and cough. Let's see here. What was this said in the doc after the docs were public about the blankets on the door? No. That was so the blanket on the rail was said by Cheryl, Malaya's friend. And she didn't say at that point that Malaya had told her, but it was just obvious. Because that was on the interview with Hidden in the Fog, but that was before the documents. So Cheryl had said that she heard it was on the rail. That stuck with me because I was like, oh, well, we haven't heard this before. And I was like, well, the only person that could come from that would say that, or why Cheryl would even say that to me, was if Malaya had said that, you know. And anyway, so then it came to fruition that, yeah, Malaya did say it. And, you know, that interview, I always really felt bad for Cheryl during that particular interview, because Logan came up and Logan just, you know, her mouth just wouldn't shut up. And, you know, that was when Susan, just that whole interview sucked for Cheryl at that particular time. And basically, if Logan and that's over talking her and shit and just being ignorant, it was a bad idea to bring Logan up on that interview with Cheryl, because Cheryl just basically shut down, really. But anyways, what I took from that a lot was about the blanket being on the rail, right? And you guys know that the blanket means a lot for me, for the fact of that it was always criminal. A blanket by some random stranger is just ridiculous. Now, so there's really two lines mostly of thinking, and that's that Malaya, her family had something to do with hiding the kids, which is truthfully to the absurdity that would all play out like that, and that, you know, with no end to it per se, and that it's gone on this long and no reward's been claimed and nobody's talked. And that's why I say that there's just too much digital data to me that would have led the RCMP down to a road of people, more interrogations and stuff like that going on. And to me, I just don't believe that that's the case. I think that Darren believed that this theory was plausible. And don't get me wrong, at the time, you know, you're talking a few months into the case and you don't know still what's really going on, and you know, you don't know who to believe. And Darren comes into it and, you know, starts talking, and he's Malaya's side of the family, and he's talking with Daniel and Janie and stuff like that. Janie makes a comment that after she talked to Darren, then it all just clicked, you know, type of thing. And they seem to run with that whole thing, the situation. The one thing I will never forget either, and I hope you guys always remember, that when Daniel said to Lindsay, the reporter, that she's trying to blame me for everything so she doesn't get in trouble. That tells me, right, like for me, that tells me that it's both of them that know absolutely what happened to Jack and Lily. Just that one sentence by itself, along with the blanket as well, you know. But when you think about those words, it means basically that Malay is trying to blame him for everything so she doesn't get in trouble. You know, that's not a that's not something that you would make if the children were abducted, in a sense by some stranger and stuff like that. And it's not, and it's a weird thing to make, even if Daniel was to think that Malaya took the kids and hid them and all that stuff. And it doesn't even make sense because Malaya would not have to do that. And that's why really like the statistics show that chances are Jack and Lily are no longer with us, that that lies and cover up and all that shit's going on. And that's why it's like both Daniel talking and Malaya, all you see is very self-absorbed individuals that to me act like they're trying to tell the truth, but we're not idiots either at all. And they're doing it from a perspective of, let's just say that, both of them know that they're lying, right? Well, when you've never really been in that situation, well, how does one lie if you're having to deceive in a sense, right? And to me, one of those things that stands out is that you're deflecting on everybody but yourselves. But in this case, if we take Daniel's words and Malaya's interview, all you see is just a bunch of self-absorbed people that care more about their hurt and trauma or what they're putting themselves through and trying to use that in the sake of Jack and Lily. Again, Malaya's interview to me was an absolute, just a fucking joke. Like just an absolute crock of shit from a mother that's asking people to be voices for her children. And that finally after 15 months that, the importance of her realizing that, to keep the names and pictures out there of Jack and Lily. And it's like honestly, the easiest thing to say is fuck off, Malaya, fuck off, Daniel. When it comes to how these two people are portraying themselves or their own traumas, it's just unbelievable to watch it, but for them, it's just like, but I'm being truthful. Why don't you guys believe me? Because we don't. Most of us do not. So anyways, for anyone coming in, we are going over my messenger with Daniel and my conversation together. Never showed it in its entirety like I'm doing in a sense now, but I figured I would. I'm pretty sure that Ninchi had asked me this a while back, actually. Logan was like a bulldozer in that interview. Yeah, I think Logan, I don't know, she just strikes me as a bitch. Clear and simple. Just this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really like women that are strong and stuff like that. But, no, she just wasn't respectful at all. She just came off like a real big bitch in that particular interview. Well, just in general, to be honest. But even the most was that interview. I don't see what the goal would be with hiding. I don't see a goal there at all. Just say an interesting bit on Ninchi's channel. That's quite a deal breaker. It's from one of your interviews with him. Just say an interesting bit on Ninchi's channel. That's quite a deal. I'm not really, Truth and Beauty, I'm not really sure I understand your comment here. Just say an interesting bit on Ninchi channels. That's quite a deal breaker. It's from one of your interviews with him. Say an interesting bit. I'm just not sure what you're meaning by that. Milky Way, exactly. They are just never going to touch grass again. Someone is going to stay home 24/7 to raise them indoors. Yeah. All the narratives changes early on were the proof for me. Thank you, Pinky. Not there yet, but I seen it, or I heard the noise go off, and I can see it up in my thing on there. Again, thank you guys for being here. Just going over conversations with Daniel, just things that he said. So again, I like to use their own words against them. No, it's not that yeah, I mean, obviously at this point it's against them because of the different inconsistencies and stuff like that. It's like they've created their own bed, with it all. And so when people want to talk about Daniel and Malaya, I think you guys have every right to do so, because we don't have answers for Jack and Lily. And we've been watching nothing less than a bunch of lies and BS about the truth, because the truth is organic and natural. And when the truth is being told, you're not sitting here questioning this, all the time, wondering why this was said here and this was said there, or why Malaya and Daniel are making it about themselves and all. Like, you know what I mean? It just, like I said, adds to the pile of the manure that most of us feel is going on here. On there. 100,000%. Such a pile of dung shit. Yeah. If I really wanted my children back, wearing a hoodie with that ridiculous message on it would be the last damn thing I'd wear on national television for the whole world to see. Well, again, if it was a different situation, a different time, but was really that the time to put on that sweater? I mean, Malaya can do whatever she wants, and we have the right to perceive it however we want as well. And it's just, to me, like I said, you're doing an interview for the first time in 15 months. You come out in your little booty shorts and that sweatshirt and stuff. That's like a slap in the face to me for Jack and Lily. But yeah, it's probably Malaya, like Belinda said, trying to make a point to the booty shorts, or Anita and something like that, and the land back, to a political shit, for money. Because she got to, of course, probably kiss ass to the people that are giving her all this money and helping her and assisting her and all that shit. And then also, the comment kind of geared probably towards Belinda about, when the children are returned home to her or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, whatever, whatever. I think it was planned, bulldozing. She's not a collaborator. She planned to steamroll. Hi, Tamaru. Pinky, there it is. Justice will come. Yeah, I know. It's so hard. Coming up to 16 months. You just have to wonder, at what point will it come? Hi, Captain Justice. I don't see anyone putting pressure on the three players, not RCMP, no lawsuit. Somebody put pressure on them, launch a civil suit. The truth will come out. Well, in the States, they can do that. Okay, I'm going to go. Let me see 1 second. Is that what it said to you? Please refrain from sending long messages. So he said basically it happened Thursday. Just block Streamlabs. Okay, so I'm going back to reading more with Daniel. Thank you guys for being here. If you haven't hit the like and the share for Jack and Lily, please do. Anyways, appreciate you guys. We're going over Daniel's messages between me and him on Messenger from the first time we started talking and stuff like that. So I'm just going to make the screen big again and carry on. Okay. Okay, so then what does he say? I did see on the live that you were fair, even though he missed a word. I appreciate that. I truly do. Think about it like this. Why would I wait 3 months to manipulate you? I lost everything. Oh, I wanted to say something to that, to be honest with you. I don't think that anyone that had anything to do with Jack and Lily's disappearance would have thought that this case would have erupted like this. So I don't think that, I don't know, let's just take Daniel Malaya having some knowledge to do with Jack and Lily. I don't think that they ever in their wildest dreams would have thought that it would have grabbed the world's attention, and it wouldn't have done so much. So neither one of them, are going to be thinking about, oh, I don't get to see my other kids and, and all that stuff. I don't think that would have even been a thought until all this, came about and the coverage of it. And then all of a sudden, all these other things are transpiring. So I'm not buying into the whole, like, well, like, why would I have risked it all? Well, because your dumbasses wouldn't even have thought about that, to be honest with you. Okay. One sec. Okay, so So he says, all the allegations against me, I only have visitations with Meadow and my other two kids. My ex-wife refuses to let me see them, even though there's a court order in place through the divorce, which allowed me to take them every second weekend. The reasoning behind my ex-wife's decision is she wants to know what happened to Jack and Lily. Really? Well, I kind of think that that's a pretty good idea from your ex, Christy, there, right? Not letting your other two kids even around you until she knows what happened truthfully to Lily and Jack, right? And your ex-wife, I'm sure she knows a lot about exactly who you are, Daniel Martell. On top of that theory, counseling, psychology exam, and randomized drug testing. So just ask yourself, why would I ever hurt Lily or Jack or ruin young kids' lives by hiding them? Life has taken so many turns. Simply trying to manipulate the world doesn't bring Lily and Jack home or solve anything. It doesn't take the allegations away. It doesn't restore any former life I had in any way, shape, or form. I'm not going to sit and attack anyone involved in the case either. They're free to attack me. I don't care. But after these messages come out, I want the integrity of my character to remain intact, not for me, but for my kids. That's such bullshit. Mm-hmm. One sec, checkers. Thank you, Sharekers, on that one. What a crock of shit. They're free to attack me. I don't care. But after these messages come out, I want the integrity of my character. I don't think there's any left, to be honest with you, Daniel, to remain intact. Not for me. Not for me. Not for him, you guys, but for the kids. The kids will all see this one day. That's right. That's in your forefront of your mind. Kids, they'll see this one day. And they want you to be a hero, not a zero. Fuck. He stood in the spotlight. Oh, yeah, let me continue. I want them to see Dad didn't hide. He stood in the spotlight when no one else did. If you want anything answered, ask me before Monday. He stood in the spotlight, people, when no one else did. True narcissist. On point. Again, right? Just those words really just, again, keep showing you the insight of Daniel's personality that way. You know, I think he's just oblivious to the narcissistic person he is. I can't count how many people call him a narcissist, even the professionals, you know, and but he stood in the spotlight on there. Thank you, fair care. Typo. Gotcha. Anyways, Daniel. All I think of when I say that is, oh, Daniel. When he said, would always say, oh, Sonny. Oh, Daniel. And then clutch them pearls. Oh, Daniel. And he has that rooster. Oh, Daniel. Always makes me laugh. Oh my God, there's my Ben. Hey, I was just, Ben, get out of my brain. I was literally just thinking about you today, going, I haven't seen my Ben in a bit. And then here you are on there. I know life's different for you now and everything and that, but Ben knows he has my heart. Anyways, nice to see you, Ben. Baby monkey, Ariella, Sasha, but narcissism is a symptom of ADHD, according to him. Well, it's true, though. I mean, it is true. When I had met this person online, gaming, not my husband, a different person. Okay, the person that I was playing online RuneScape with, he was a fucked up individual. He weighed about 500 pounds. No word of a lie. Okay. His name was Aaron. And being the kind of fixer that I always try to be, I was trying to understand this personality. And so I was typing in just shit after shit, right? And coming up with borderline personality disorders, gaslighting, narcissism, and all that stuff, and that goes with it. But the one thing that I remember for sure was that narcissism, was not a standalone, whatever you want to call it, disorder or whatever. That typically it was derived from someone with ADHD, I remember, or, borderline personality, meaning, so it wasn't that narcissism was by itself, that it's just one specific thing that someone has, that it was derived by ADHD, could be, like I said, all these different clusters. It's been a long time, but at the time I was fucking well versed in realizing that it's really hard to determine sometimes, like without being a doctor and stuff like that, a personality disorder that's going on, because they overlap each other and a lot of them seem like the same symptoms, I remember. But I just always remember that narcissism wasn't a standalone kind of disorder. It was like derived from ADHD and or borderline personality and stuff like that, and so picture this. You got a 500-pound man that is acting like he's a fucking hot 10, right? And it's almost like being like if someone was with an arrogant guy that's a 10, thinks he's all that, in a bag of chips and all that shit, right? But really, in Aaron's case, he was a 500-pound man and he acted like he could just disappear and log out, and the games that he would play. But the thing is that I was too wise for his shit, but yet I let him play these games on me. And yet the whole time I was just trying to kind of be the fixer, the doctor in a sense, and be like, oh, well, he's this way. And he puts on a mask. And his mask is this portrayal because he doesn't like who he is as this person. So he has to wear this mask to be this other person. And that's really how I see Daniel. Most people that have insecurities and stuff like that. I mean, we all have insecurities, and it's a matter of kind of like how we navigate, I guess, in life, with them. So Daniel, to me, very insecure. Out of a very insecure guy, you get a controlling guy. Um, in lots of cases, right? And which I've dealt with and stuff like that. And so when Daniel actually is insecure about his own self, right? Then he feels the need to think that he's like fucking every woman's dream out there pretty much, you know, cheating, because again, it's whatever his fix is to make himself feel good. Um, and however that kind of comes out, well, his comes out in full blown narcissism to go with it. That he's he's really nothing to look at. I mean, in all honesty, right? I mean, that's just my own personal rating. So just for me personally, and Daniel can rate me all the fuck he wants, I don't care. But if I was just to look at Daniel visually, 5 to 6 at best, right? But then he speaks, and then like about Jack and Lily's case, and then he just becomes a full-fledged zero, because no matter what, he's projecting himself as this honest person that's telling us the truth, that talk is inconsistent. He talks about how much he's doing, all the stuff that he's done and stuff like that. And he's, you can tell that what Malay is saying is true, for the fact of, like, she's in a controlling relationship. Granted, she stayed in this controlling relationship. She allowed Daniel to treat her this way, to be in the relationship, to stay with Daniel through all the drugs and all that stuff that, but then again, you'd have to understand how fucked up her own life is to wonder sometimes why women do the things that they do and stay in situations and stuff like that, right? But anyways, all I see with Daniel is low self-esteem. At some point during his lifetime, he built this wall, this mask of pretense, and this is where all this arrogance and pretense to us. And so I just see right through all that with him, and that's why to me he's transparent as glass. And I mean, he alone has showed his own inconsistencies, to it. But it's like, yeah. So most things that you're reading, even as I'm reading them of him, it's just about that he's in the spotlight. He wants his children to know. So put this out to the world, Sonny, because my character, it's going to remain intact, and my children will know that I'm the one that stood in the spotlight, as the fucking sun came beaming down on my head with a freaking halo on it, that I was there for Jack and Lily through and through, Oh, hey, who dis? Who dis? Where'd you go? Ah, there you are. Haven't been able to follow this case. Oops. There you go. Hey, who dis? I know. Who dis is from the Delphi murders, and Abby and Libby, of course. Yeah, Streamlabs, sorry. Because the way that they have it set up for Streamlabs now is like off, medium, or low, medium, and high. I have it on low. He wants a statue in New Glasgow. Anyways, big hugs and loves to you, who does? Okay. Go back to some more. Anyways, just remember, Daniel's stood in the spotlight all alone. Well, I mean, to be honest, like, he has done the most in the sense of, for someone that's been on the property. And Janie's probably number 2. But as for someone with no stake in the game, that's obviously Belinda. Okay. Where else we got, Daniel? Okay. Okay. To add to all the events taking place, I now must battle Malaya in a high-profile court case for custody. Again, a high-profile court case for custody of Meadow. So you're right, Sonny. Things just didn't stop getting worse after Lily and Jack went missing. They continue to increase. Well, maybe you and Malaya, according to you guys, should have got out of bed that morning. then possibly it still would have not happened, right? I still think it was going to happen anyway. Um, but anyway, so yeah, the main reason I decided to push forward with this is because the with the information I've received from investigators, the blanket information I've received tells me I need to accelerate the word, not because I have any involvement with the blanket, but because of misinformation received. The case lacks clarity when it comes to long form details. The small details it lacks, such as behind the scenes Amber Alert details or details on the fashionable exit Malaya made or miscommunication on there being two pink blankets. I drove Lansdowne Road the morning of on the disappearance. I never seen the blanket in the tree. I was on full alert. I never even seen the exact location of the boot print on the pipeline. You know, sir, he says, I have the exact location of the boot print on the pipeline I've never even seen. Not sure why he didn't say he's never seen the exact location of the blanket and the boot on the pipeline there. Instead, he just said the pipeline. It's because I don't believe him about the blanket. Um, I have every detail surrounding it, such as the exact boots they had on were purchased and examined for true accuracy assessment. I have all the knowledge on everything surrounding the case, others working on it. That I have all the knowledge. Well, the case isn't solved yet, is it, Daniel? That's another reason I didn't display any longer form messages or interviews. I worked to gather a more complete take of the disappearance. I'm sorry to say this, but it's been 3 long months, and if I don't know, and I don't know one will. People will always target me. He keeps saying this, but I've always given the most to the public on the disappearance. No one can take that away. No one remembers at the end of all of my shorter interviews, I always said, if you have information, please come forward to the RCMP. Do you guys remember when he was actually prompted to say that? And then it's like more like he started saying it because more he was prompted to say that originally. Like, so is there anything that you wish to say? Yeah. And then it's like, oh, yeah, right. The end of this interview, I want to make it clear that if anyone has information, go to the local RCMP, blah, 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 or local police detachment. I've done that many times. I know no local news isn't targeted towards younger audiences, but Sonny, I truly tried to make a difference. I put so much out there and stress levels so high there. This, just correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, but Malaya's interview and all the trauma which prevented her from speaking out about Jack and Lily because of all her own personal trauma. And then Daniel here, who's been out there like a sore thumb. But I can only imagine, just by his own words, all the trauma that obviously Daniel was going through as well. Again, just a lot of stuff about themselves. And that to me is just another telltale story of you're making it about yourselves and everything that you're doing, but yet it's ridiculous to us, the things that you are doing or aren't doing, because you guys keep congratulating yourselves about all this amazing effort, right, Malaya? All the searching that you've been doing, especially on other people's cases now, because every child matters. You couldn't be out there for Jack and Lily for 15 months. You're acting like you were just out there being a voice for them, putting up their pictures all over social media, and you fucking didn't do diddly shit, really, But anyways, I put so much out there and the stress levels are high. Yet, yes, there is inconsistencies. There is bound to be. I'm not a robot. I'm human. Well, you can thank the Drunk Turkey show and all his bullshit that he was saying to Daniel all the time. Like, oh yeah, no. I mean, You got to give them, an hour and a half timeline missing because nobody can remember everything. I mean, you just got to, he's not a robot. There's going to be inconsistencies. Remember the drunk turkey show all over Daniel, basically just giving Daniel like reasons to sit there and make excuses for his own shit. What is this thing?
Sonny, if I had to do that, I'd be reading the whole novel. I mean, that would, but I guess I'm making you read the novel either way, so I guess we could just leave it at that.
Sonny, if I had to do that, it'd be a whole novel, but I guess I'm doing that anyway. Yep. This is when I said, to be honest, fishing is so relaxing. I just love to put the rod in. This is kind of when basically I'm just using this picture of Daniel where he's fishing, knowing that my ex-husband has a picture just like that. And I'm just basically sweet talking him so that he'll talk to me more. I don't play Pokemon. I'm asking him obviously about his channel. I don't play Pokemon. My daughter and son have the cards. They get to enjoy the cards. I never heard of a fish called Spring. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. We have fish called Spring, of course, out in here on the Pacific Ocean or in Hope. They come up the river. They're big springs and salmon. I've always prided myself on teaching everyone on the rivers, blah, 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 blah. He said, oh, wait, what does he say here? Guidance so that makes me unique to give back. Oh, hold on. I've always prided myself on teaching everyone on the rivers and lakes. Most go without guidance, so it gives me a unique chance to give back. I'm not a monster, Sonny, like the world makes me out to be. I'll even include some videos I have of Jack that will give a little look into how he loves insects. Okay, so anyways, pictures, trout and salmon. Oh, let's just quickly play this video of Jack, okay?
Here he goes, trying to sneak up on a duck.
Little Jackie boy.
No. See? And water.
No, Jack. Come on, let's go.
Little Jack. Just gonna, you know what?
Jack,
Just gonna play it again.
Here he goes, trying to sneak up on a duck.
Heartbreaking.
No. See? And water.
No, Jack. Come on, let's go.
Okay. So that was little Jackie boy. I know. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? Because you're literally watching little Jack. He's alive and well, out at the pond there, the lake, I know. Yeah. He didn't seem to have one of Lily. Anyways, it's hard to see that. I mean, it's just, you guys know it's hard. Okay. I'll find one that's of Lily, but I don't want to upset Malaya. I don't want any more accusations to CPS or law enforcement. I already pushed my limits as it is. I'm not attacking Malaya. I've already said enough, and I'm not anymore. We both deal with enough as it is. That's when he had sent me this picture. I'll try to find one of Lily, but see, after I send you those longer messages, I know that the view on me will shift. Investigators warned me about that, and they urged me not to release anything like this. I told them I would remain a target for as long as it takes. Investigators say, I know you will, Dan. With me as the target, I was hoping that the parties involved would make a mistake to capitalize on or slip up being relaxed as the target. I've continued being the focus for 3 months. Now, as you heard Belinda say, RCMP have no suspects. Is it true? Who knows? I keep quiet, hoping that the break in the case will include a couple of pics I have from the search map. I've been the only one to provide public access to these. That straight from command center has no public access to these. The public helicopter data and drone data is not reflected on those maps, nor is RCMP dive team data. Neither is classified technology data. 8 kilometers diameter out was completely searched. I tried to be involved as much as possible. Share away. Because I will always ask. It only gets me in trouble, remember, Sonny. I take the heat from major crimes for it all, but I hope it helps Jack and Lily get found, so it's worth it. When I say I have a lot of time with major crimes, I do almost 100 hours in person and phone calls combined. I've done everything and more than they've asked until now with this. We woke up, didn't hear the kids. Proceed from bedroom to kitchen. I looked in the living room, no kids. I ran down to check under their beds, ran to check the kitchen, got my shoes on. Proceeded outside in the backyard, went around the fence. She asked me, should I call 911? While she's calling 911, I ran up to the kids' cabins to check. When I was screaming for the kids on my way back down, that's when my mom came out of the RV. So you guys, still think about this. Daniel claims to Kent 9:35. He wakes up. Daniel didn't really believe the 911 call happened at 10:01. He actually thought it was earlier, probably because of this lapse of timeline here. So think about that. So he's always telling us that Malaya never checked on the kids. Like, why wouldn't she? Type of thing. That nothing was moved in the kitchen, type of idea. Everything was still in its place. Odd. Wasn't Jack in the kitchen? But anyway. So they get up. According to both of them, they didn't hear Jack or Lily. Do you hear the kids? Nope. They get up. What? Let's say a couple minutes, right? 9:45, 9:35, 9:40, 9:35. And then Daniel says how it takes 30 seconds to run up in the woods. 30 seconds, right? So what? Let's just put it at 9:45. You've basically looked underneath the beds. I mean, it's a trailer, right? It's not like it's a mansion of a house. And it takes you 30 seconds. Well, if it only takes you 30 seconds, but yet your mom Janie's timeline is that at 8:48, she went in, after talking with her brother, after the phone call, 8:51, I think it was, goes into the trailer, falls asleep, and that she hears Jack and Lily outside at some point. Now, of course, that's definitely after 9 o'clock at this point that Janie's claiming that she heard the kids playing by the swings, on their but she also claims that she heard a female voice hushing the kids. Now, Janie says that when she comes outside, Malaya's, which was 10 minutes after Daniel is hooting and hollering for Jack and Lily. But Daniel says that the first thing he did was he got into his vehicle and started searching all the, culverts and back dirt roads and everything. But then he also says the first thing he did was he went up, and it only took 30 seconds. One time he says that Malaya was calling 911. Next, another time he says that when he was coming down from the woods, that she was calling 911. Another time he says that no, he told her to wait first as he went up to run up the woods. There was I think that there's 4 different versions. Definitely 3, but whatever, 4. But I think there's 4, to be honest. But anyways, so how does this timeline work? If you proceeded outside to the backyard and you went around the fence, and she asked me if I should call 911. While she's calling 911, I ran up to the cabin. But we already know that he told her to wait, right? And that when he was coming back down, apparently she was talking to 911. But at what point is this whole 10 minutes that Janie heard Daniel, calling out for Jack and whatever, and didn't bother to even come out because Jack was probably letting the chickens out or something like that. But yet he's saying that when he came back down, that's when his mom was outside. So again, that's where always that even more of that timeline is all sketch because of the different scenarios. And that's kind of when he was on Charmaine's live. And then he had said, about the mom, his mom, whatever, had come outside, whatever. Then in that same live, within a few minutes, he goes, well, yeah, my mom was outside already. And it was well, no, but you said she was inside right? And she didn't come out for 10 minutes or whatever. So how is it possible now that she's outside? But I think that here, he says that while she was calling, I ran up to the cabins and checked when I was screaming for the kids on my way back down. That's when my mom came out of the RV. But your mom said you were doing that for 10 minutes before she came out of the RV. And it only took you 30 seconds to go out there. And mom said, how long? 20 minutes. And don't forget, there's more to that, right? Daniel and Janie saying that, the first thought was to go up into the woods, right? And Daniel saying, I'm a fucking idiot for believing in Malaya that the kids were in the woods. And yet, you don't hear really them saying that because Janie's too busy saying that she's the one that the first thing she thought to do was to go up into the woods. Again, it's no different than the Thursday timeline. It's just when there's so many inconsistencies, it doesn't make sense. But anyways, so this has always been a huge one for me about this whole thing. Janie's time versus Daniel running up and down. Well, again, and this is where someone like Drunk Turkey Show, idiot, will give credence to, oh, well, I mean, they're in a state of shock, of course they didn't think to go to Janie's mobile or trailer first to sit there and ask if Jack and Lily were in there. It was just the stupidness of these answers. Because how do you answer that when you didn't do it and you've never claimed that you did it and then try to retract on it? And then you just come up with answers about why you didn't do it. And the answers are ridiculous because anyone knows if 2 children are missing, the first thing you'd be doing was screaming for your mom and seeing if the children were in that trailer. I'll finish reading this and then I'll come back to chat and see what you guys are saying. Let's see. While she was calling 911, I ran up to the kids' cabins, blah, blah, blah. Screaming on the way back down was when my mom came out from the RV and confronted Malaya. Malaya, what's up? Well, how could she confront Malaya? Malaya's on the phone for 9 minutes and 45 seconds calling 911, right? At 10:01. So make that make sense. If Malaya's outside and she's been on the phone since 10:01, and that make sense. That Janie comes out, what happened to the kids? Oh, they've been gone for. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, Janie, I'm on the phone talking to 911 right now. So about 3 minutes to get out, then about 4 minutes to get to the cabins and circle down behind the RV. Wait. Confronted Malaya. Malaya, what's up? Malaya turned around and said the kids are missing. Mom said, how long? 20 minutes. So about 3 minutes ago to get outside, then about 4 minutes to get to the cabins and circle down behind the RV. But Mom confronted her when I was halfway back. You said it took you 30 seconds, Daniel. It's all it took you was 30 seconds to go up and back down. You guys remember that, right? It wasn't about 4 minutes to get to the cabins and circle down behind the RV. But Mom confronted her when I was halfway back with her 20 minutes, she said. We have a time around 9:35 to 9:45. After I got back down from the cabins, Malaya was standing in the same position, holding Meadow. I ran into the house and did Lansdowne Road. I never seen the blanket in the tree, by the way. Going out to the railroad tracks on the road, turning and going back, doing Lansdowne Station Road, following it back to 289, and finishing the trip by going up the trail beside the house, the right of the RV, if facing into the driveway. Up the trail beside the house. I mean, the closed road that you guys said that you heard the truck going up. One sec. Oh, I got that there. It's talking about Brad Wong's, the one that Janie said that Brad Wong was going up that trail. Didn't you already meet your mom up there at some point? I meet Mom at the top of I meet Mom at the top of the hill when I was driving back. The road can only be accessed. That's when they were accusing Brad Wong of going up. On my way back, and I said I met my mom and asked her if she was coming with me. She said, I'll search up here because they could not have went far. I returned to the house, and when I got back, RCMP were walking down the driveway to see Malaya. It took 12 minutes to arrive on site, which obviously we know that it was like 10:27 that they arrived. Janie said she didn't have her phone before RCMP got there, that it was in her trailer, but yet we can clearly see FaceTime call at 10:19. And yet, so when Janie comes out, she needs to go back in, of course, and get her boots on because, it's her idea that she's going to go up into those woods. And that all kind of happened within 15 minutes, all this looking around. Imagine Janie, like she must have been hauling ass up that whole freaking mountain to that road and all that shit in a very short period of time, and then come back when the RCMP are there, claim she doesn't have her phone at that point, but yet she does. The phone thing bugs me as well. Too much bugs me. Let's see. So let's see here. RCMP 12 minutes wrong. Arrive at site. RCMP were parked in the driveway, so I parked next to the marsh in the little driveway area next to the house on the left, looking in, facing the driveway. I jumped out of the SUV, then proceeds towards the wood, but officers yelled at me not to enter the woods. I walked back to the house and was further told not to enter the woods. I was beyond frustrated. I wasn't allowed to search until an officer dressed in military gear gave me the green light to re-enter the woods. Idiot. He said, go for it. I still remember it said Oliver on the back of his vest. Oliver, you're an idiot. I can't never get, I never give that guy enough credit because even every other officer said no, right? Except for Oliver, because Oliver was an idiot. Okay, 1 second. Let's see here. Yes, Jody, you do. See a few new mods. Like, if you guys really think about that whole timeline, like I said, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. And I think that most of us believe that the timeline is BS anyway, but it's just constant. Like, I'm just reading Daniel's words right there, but that whole area is all just a bunch of a mess as they're trying to say it, about Janie waiting 10 minutes, but Daniel just saying 30 seconds it took him. Then he's saying, 3 to 4 minutes and stuff like that. Then he came back to the RV around and stuff like that. And it's just like I said, to me, it's just a bunch of lies. But if you think about all the different areas of the time they're trying to put together, it just doesn't make logical sense. It's people that are trying to make it make sense. And I think most of us know too that throughout this entire case, Daniel has consistently added stuff to, like, as documents have been coming out, as time has gone on, about having all of Malaya's in the children's clothes. Then all of a sudden Malaya leaving most of her clothes at Patty's house. It's like someone taking this timeline and then inserting into it along the way. That's what Daniel has done. Yeah. Hollering up. Remember the helicopter, right? That he was pretty sure he heard some kids screaming, but the helicopter noise just drowned them all out. And yet the helicopter, according to Daniel, was an hour and a half later. How far do you think kids are going to get in an hour and a half that they didn't leave a trace of anything? No. Children are not in the woods unless they're dead and buried in those woods somewhere. For a mod, yeah. But anyways, just kind of scrolling here. Why didn't Malaya holler in panic? Well, according to Daniel, Malaya didn't do shit. She just stood there like a statue. On there. I honestly, I just think of the stupidity of, a lot of people thought that DT was playing Daniel. Nope. Just a clueless idiot himself, to be honest with you. Why would he come back and decide to go in the woods again? He should have stayed in the woods. I can't believe this Oliver guy. Like, seriously. It's no different than not understanding why that if 2 children are missing, that instead of allowing people to be all over that yard and in the trailers and stuff like that, that common sense says you get everyone off that property, and maybe out onto the street. But that didn't happen either. And then you got Oliver Doofus that literally gives Daniel the green light to go searching when all the others didn't, and Daniel was ever so grateful. No, to me, she's not a very good actor. Neither of them are. Neither of them are, to me. All right, what else we got? Right, here we go. My cell phone was on the end table in the room, so I never had it the whole time. Crock of shit. I check culverts along the dirt roads, too, along the way, I might add. Only Major Crimes knows that full story. First helicopter arrived 1 hour and 30 minutes from dispatch call. They were at the Garden of Eden on another call. Sunny, thanks for taking the time to listen. Everything is cool. I heard you're back to bashing me from 1,000 of messages I received, right? Daniel daily gets 1,000 messages. Talking about exaggeration, Daniel. Dude, this article is way worse that came out. I think that's the one where it came out from Lindsay. What did Daniel? Oh, Daniel showed me a message here from Lindsay. Let's see what parenting and safety measures Child Protection Service advised youth. Okay, thanks, Lindsay. This is obviously when Lindsay is trying to ask Daniel some questions. So Daniel's sharing this with me. Daniel, are you going to provide a comment in relation to the RCMP release today regarding your past statements on the pink blanket? Also, for the record, the Globe doesn't bribe. Everything is approved by managers. Deadline is 5 p.m. Daniel, can you clarify what is the deal with Lily's pink blanket in the garbage? Okay. She tried to bribe, was approved by managers. My dad and mother refused to be bribed for interviews. She lured around the properties around her for many weeks, even getting co-workers to try to contact us. She'd been kicked off off a few properties in my area. She lurks in Facebook groups. I said, this article is huge. You know this. Tons more info and not good. Jack and Lily, Daniel. Yes, Jack and Lily is always the goal. But do you see I'm always targeted? I just don't understand the drug stuff. Oh my God. Sorry. I just don't understand the drug stuff considering I have no drugs, no meth labs were found. I don't sell drugs. I gave police my phone. Which one? The two, your regular phone, or what was it? Sorry, the two. Why is my brain dying? My brain's dying. It's too hot. My God, you guys, what are those phones called? You know, the ones the drug sellers use. Blah, blah. Why can't I think of those? Say the word to me. Get it out of my head. Tell me the word I'm looking for. Good night, JJ. Oh my God. Somebody tell me the name. Burner phones. Thank you. Oh my God. It just wouldn't come to my brain. Oh, thank you guys. I gave police my phone. If any of that evidence was found, I'm sure I'd be arrested. Investigators even came out and said to me and my family, yeah, there's no drugs here, no meth labs, nothing like this. Fuck off with that. Daniel Martell. Hi, Share Cares. Thank you. So you mean the drugs in the bathroom that Malaya showed, right? Her sister. So that wasn't real? That the meth wasn't in the bathroom in the man kit? So that, I guess that wasn't real, Daniel, right? But then again, that remember Daniel's changed his story so many times about when he last did drugs and all that shit too. But anyways, what was this? The house was just silent. Daniel had said, "There's no magic in the air. It's just silence. That's really all I can say." You guys just imagine Daniel saying that. There's just no magic in the air. Okay, this is when I'm talking with Taylor. I was talking with her before this. But this is when Daniel, he thinks I'm an idiot. And he says, Sonny, beware of fake accounts. There are accounts trying to destroy me. Some fake, some not. Or fake me, some fake, some not. It's nothing to do with Jack and Lily just trying to destroy me. This is what he's talking about, all the shit coming out from Taylor. But I already knew that because Taylor had already shared that shit with me. So he's trying to give me the heads up, but I'm already aware of what he's talking about. I said, I knew exactly why you messaged me today, and all I can say is, holy fuck, you're trying to do damage control. Like, all I want to say again is, holy fuck, how do you keep doing this to yourself? Wait, that answer is rhetorical. He says, I come to find out she's on meds from mental illness, bipolar, and a bunch more. Her ex-husband was abusing her when she would come to see me. Sonny, beyond fucked. Dude, oh my God. I said, dude, oh my God. You don't need to tell me anymore, seriously. Like, I'm just going to say, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That's what she waited weeks between each trip. That's why she waited weeks between each trip. I told major crimes. She turned crazy. I always find the trauma. I'll stop for a second. Thanks, Joyous.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping Jack and Lily in front of the public. Prayers for Belinda and family.
Thanks, Joyous. I swear to God, I wish I had your bank account. Because you have always been so generous to everyone, in the different lives and stuff like that. Joyous, can I ask you something? Because I think a lot of us feel like you did, and if it wasn't you, then that's okay. Are you the one that did the $696 donation? Is your first name Joyce? Was that your donation on the GoFundMe for Belinda? Might I ask? It's just because Joyce. Yes, but I'm old. Well, but I'm old. I'm old. Anyways, had a feeling it was you just by your name on there, and it shocked when I showed it to Belinda because it was like after or whatever, and I showed it to Belinda and I was like, holy shit. I said, I'm pretty sure that this is Joyous on there, and I said the same thing to Charmaine, and I said Charmaine. Charmaine is, I think this is Joyous on there, but you've been very generous beyond belief, to be honest. And you guys, I don't want to solo this out, but Joyous has been very, very giving in her nature. She does not have to. Maybe she absolutely has the ability to. But when I seen that 696 donation for the GoFundMe for Belinda, anyways, yeah, and it doesn't have to be, of course, monetary, but my thing is this: I would never want to ever tell someone how to do something or what not to do, because we all know that some people have the ability to and other people don't and stuff like that. And I get it, Joyous, if it's your way of supporting channels and supporting Belinda and stuff like that. Anyways, thank you so much. And I know that donation on Belinda's was just huge in her efforts for possibly, again, she possibly might have a lawyer. She went to go talk with one the other day. And so, but again, so possibly, okay. And this lawyer will require fees. So we'll just see what happens. And then when Belinda has the answers and gets to know, then definitely will, of course, she'll pass it on to, others and that. But anyways, thanks everyone for their generosity. And Pinky, you're another one as well, and share cares, and stuff like that. You guys, just again, thank you guys for the love and support, whether it's for this channel, but just for the GoFundMe for Belinda. and stuff like that. Thank you on there. So appreciate. Donosaurus Joyous is a real life angel. Absolutely. I think there's a lot of beautiful angels out there, you know. So I know, again, we do things in our different ways and stuff like that. But there's truly a lot of good people that are following Jack and Lily's case. It's definitely a case that it's just, like there's cases, like I said, for me, it has to gravitate to my heart and children. And I know there's tons of other cases out there. But, obviously the case of Jack and Lily. And it's honestly, I'll just say this. It's just very hurtful that we're all here for the same reason of wanting answers for Jack and Lily. And from the people that were on the property, it's like the information is scattered, inconsistent, doesn't make sense, what we're seeing to what we're hearing and all those different things and stuff like that. But the bottom line is that we all are here for Jack and Lily, want answers. By being here means you're supporting. By being here means that you're supporting, of course, Jack and Lily, the answers to just to be here. And most of you guys a lot of you guys have been here since the very beginning of this case. And we're almost at the 16-month mark, and that's a long haul. Some people have had to bow out just because it becomes too hard on them, and stuff like that. But whatever the reasons of why you're here for Jack and Lily's case and whatever you're doing to help keep their faces and voices out there, just thank you guys. Okay, wait. Why is everyone saying congratulations, Darlene? Wait, what did Darlene say? Ben says, Joyous, thank you so much for supporting Belinda. Love having my Ben here. JCG Mom says, wow, you're so, yeah, give appreciation. But can someone tell me? Joyous, you're so generous. Spirit floating through all the chat rooms. Ben knows. Darlene, Sunny, I will be a grandmother again on the 6th of September. I got my wish. I will have my granddaughter. Oh, Darlene, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Well, congratulations on your granddaughter. Aw, I wish I had a granddaughter or just a grandchild, but I never had a daughter, and anyone knows my story. I just have my one son. He's 29. He'll be 30 in January 4th. But I always said if I had a girl, I'd name my girl Montana. That's when I worked in cosmetics at Eaton's, and the fragrance Montana came out. Yes, I know it's a state as well, but and so when my one cat Chrissy died, we had two at the time, but Blue had just disappeared. Basically, when my husband came out, just took off, made a weird sound, and it was like a hobo just taking off after 16 years. But Chrissy was 19 years old. She passed away of cancer of the mouth. And so then as soon as that was over, because my husband had got Bambi about 2 or 3 weeks prior to Chrissy passing away. And I'm just such a sucker. I swear I wasn't going to have any more animals. I hate losing animals. It hurts the heart beyond repair. But anyways, I always said if I was going to have a daughter, it would be Montana. Went into the SPCA after putting Chrissy down, walked in, saw this cat named Montana. I said, that's my girl. That girl is a traitor. That girl loves Steve way more than she loves me. I try to keep reminding her that I adopted her, and it wasn't Steve that adopted, it was me. Doesn't matter. Montana is a daddy bitch is what she is. And she's such a perfect child. But anyways, Darlene, we'll see if it comes on the 6th. My twin sister became a grandmother. Well, you said again, but my twin sister became a grandmother on July 7th with her daughter, second eldest, Haley, and Gerkirit, with little Rohini, Rouhani. Fuck me. But anyways, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. I was wondering why everyone was saying all that stuff. I've shown I've shown the cats before. I have 3 boys and now my okay. Granddaughter we know is gonna get spoiled. No offense, boys, but there's so much more cute things for girls. We all love us, a joyous, such a kind, sharing human. Yeah. Appreciate all you guys. And Janice comes in late going burner. Okay. I'll go back. But anyways, again, if you guys haven't hit the like and share, please do so. Thank you guys. Love you guys for being here. And for anyone that's still here, thank you. I know it's getting late in the East Coast and stuff. It's only 8:16 my time. Again, don't forget that besides on Sundays I work 10 to 6. I have 2 more weeks of nights. I was normally I got 1 week, but I got 2 more weeks of nights. So 12 to 8, Monday through Thursday. So, and then I said I was going to work next Friday. Some OT there. So I got to work Friday, but that one's 7 to 3. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, let me go back. Thank you guys. And what else did Daniel say? Oh, yeah. I said, honestly, Daniel, I don't know why you're telling me this stuff, but when you said shit can ruin you, absolutely. Like you shouldn't even be talking to me. You know I don't believe you. And he said, see why I avoided the girlfriend question so much. That's when he was lying, saying he didn't have a girlfriend. And he said, I know, but one day you will. One day, I guess I'll believe him. I said, dude, you are literally fucking up your life more than you could ever have thought. Worst part is, Sonny, I know I am. And I said, well, the worst part is that you don't stop. I'm not even a handyman or a woman. What did I say there? But I know what duct tape should be doing to your mouth right now. And he said, brakes don't work. I guess I push the pedal, nothing happens. And I said, dude, we seriously don't know what exactly happened to Jack and Lily. That's what I'm here for. But you keep showing your own self underneath throwing yourself underneath the bus, or shoving your own self underneath the bus. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. At what point, Daniel, don't you stop? And he said, Sonny, it has nothing to do with the disappearance. I can say that 100% honestly. Other parts, like women, that's my downfall. And I said, well, from everything I saw, which was all the shit that Taylor sent me, I said, you're absolutely right. And to be honest with you, Daniel, you don't have to justify yourself to me or anyone, but when 2 kids are missing, you're playing with fire. And he said, I've been from the start trying to find the kids. And I said, you have the drunk turkey show as your sounding board. He said, I even wanted, hold on, drink. I got a cough. 1 second. Give me a sec. Sorry about that. I had to clear my throat or else I was just going to end up coughing. I even wanted to do it on my own, but investigators told me not to pursue the leads I bring. Daniel, he's a really good guy. I think that's different thoughts. Oh yeah, I take all that back. Daniel DT is a douche. Yes, but you look to destroy me, Sonny. It's in you. And I said, well, that's just a full lie right there. I don't look to destroy anyone, but I also know bullshit when I hear it. And I hate fucking being lied to. Like you were doing this to yourself, and now look at what you're doing even more. Jack and Lily are missing, and all I've seen is somebody that plays games and manipulates, but I'm not buying it, Daniel, and we will see how the results turn out in the end. But by adding to all this drama bullshit, to your already public life is just absurd that you would put all this shit out there knowing full well it gets screenshotted, etc. He says, well, that when you come to find out that they're bipolar and other shit and get triggered to turn evil, no one can expect that. Obviously, he's referring to Taylor. So you don't, and I said, so you don't understand that possibly you were being played? She pretty much told you that in the last message. And he said, Sonny, there's more with her. It was odd. And I said, Daniel, do you understand even remotely the damage that can be done by all this likely, all this? Like, seriously, while 2 children are missing and you're getting yourself into a hot fucking mess. And he said, she's like, I'm going to, cause you abused me. And I said, I don't even normally pay attention to this drama shit, but what the fuck? He said, she's trying to destroy me for nothing. I don't understand myself. And I said, you know what the sad thing is of all this is behind all this bullshit. I know you still love Malaya, and I know you're butthurt by everything that's transpired, but I will just leave it there. It's your hole to dig, Daniel, not mine. He says, I don't love Malaya one bit. And I said, okay, but I don't believe you. Sonny, I'm not going to play games. Well, and I said, well, stop with the bullshit, because we all know that you're the one playing games. For fuck's sake, is there an honest bone in your body? Can I just ask you, Daniel, why do you even keep talking to me? Like, dude, I've seen enough shit to last me a lifetime today. Sonny, I just don't know. Maybe I should shut up. And then what did I say? I have a question for you. Are you capable of making a phone call from your room, or do you have to go to a certain part of the house or outside? Daniel, the reason I'm asking is because there's a detail that came out in some unredacted documents, but I don't have them. I only heard that Malaya made a phone call at 8:28. So obviously we're in October, and this is before the documents came out to Cindy. And he said, if I wanted to do a call on my phone, I'd have to drive up the road. Mom sometimes can in the kitchen on hers. Did you know anything about this phone call Malaya made at 8:28 to Cindy? That was a missed call. Malaya can use hers in the bedroom window, yes. But you don't remember her getting up and doing that because it's unredacted. It says 8:20 Lily came into the room. And that's when he sent me this saying, and this was December 16th, I guess 2025. Love you, beautiful. Not sure if you have your phone in the window, but I thought I'd send you a message letting you know I'm thinking of you. And then she said, I just put my phone in the window. Now I've been missing you and just wanting this day to end so I can see you. Meadow has a bad fever. She spiked it just after she woke up. So that's when he sent that. I said, Daniel, contrary to what you may think, perhaps you got off on the wrong foot with how you presented yourself, but I'm just wanting to understand the truth of Jack and Lily. And then he said, her old text from Malaya proving that she can call from her bedroom window. Then I was just saying, trying to understand. Malaya can go fuck herself. Malaya can go fuck herself at this point. The only reason I used to protect her is because she had Meadow in her care. I didn't want Meadow to see her mental health decline. Said, I don't pretend to understand your lifestyle or relationship. I said, it's easy to understand my lifestyle. I'm an idiot. Easy to understand my relationships. I seek trauma. I think they like that word, trauma. I said, I will say this after seeing all those screenshots. You should never use the RAPE word, just saying, but I'm not going to be sitting there posting those out there and shit like that. I never posted those ones at all near the start. Did I do it after? Maybe recently in the last month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe. Can't remember. I think I did finally. She encouraged me to use it. So basically saying that Taylor encouraged her to use the RAPE word. She wanted me to hit her too. I said, absolutely fucking not. She turned evil. Hmm? She said, Daniel, I control you now. Oh, I know, but she was fine until a girl messaged her. She knew me so personally it caused a mental break in Taylor. And I said, because I said, you mean Christine? And she said, no. Well, meaning Christine about, I don't know. I think Taylor thought that there was, and I think that there is or something, some shit going on between Daniel and Christine. Someone messaged Taylor. Yes. They knew me personally that it caused Taylor to turn. No woman knows me that personally. Then whose side in this case? They knew me so personally, Sonny. Yes. That message Taylor caused Taylor to snap. She is bipolar and so many other mental issues. Yes, and I strike out every time, basically. Poor you. The bipolar plus the girl messaging her snapped her. But Sonny, it's always the right one until it's not right. Daniel saying it's always the right girl until it's not. What did I say? You wanted some unwanted advice. You should probably just work on yourself and try to keep your dick in your pants until then. He said good advice. Okay, that's what he said it to. My therapist told me I may have ADHD, a form of it that appears in narcissism. True. Weird how it all comes together now. Yes, but at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck how people see me. Well, you actually truly do, because you're a narcissist, so you do care. By the way, watch out for Haley. You will soon see the side is not out. You will see soon their side is not out of the woods yet. Bad thing to say woods in there. Investigators are still looking. I can only warn, that's all. Like, it's about Haley. Don't trust me, nobody else does. But I've been right all along, blank planted. Yes, dogs not finding anything. Yes, kids seen the day before. Yes, Malaya had a plan to leave. Yes, clothes left at Patty's. Yes, someone putting Jack's spring coat on him before leaving. Yes, I tell them everything. They knew my whole life story, building evidence. They only get one chance to strike. If the kids get moved, it starts all over. Cheryl seen the blanket before it was planted. Haley found the piece in a tree. How? Yeah, no. Cheryl admits to seeing it on a rail or railing. Yep. How could it get on the rail if it's in the garbage? Because it wasn't. How did it fly up the road that day into a tree? Because you put it there. Beats me. I never seen it outside the garbage. Wrong. No. It ripped taking it off. That's when he's talking about putting it on the door. I ripped it off the door. I had 2 hours of interrogation on the blanket. I do have the information, but nothing on the blanket itself. It will be done this month. RCMP try to stay quiet, but Loose Cannon Daniel says shit. Without me, the public wouldn't know anything. I'm not kidding. They don't want to put nothing out. While everyone else will speak. Wow, whatever he said there. Why is everyone scared of the news? Sonny, if I was guilty, do you think I would self-incriminate myself? Yeah, I think you do a really good job of it, actually. Everyone on that side is fucking cowards. Cheryl speaks for Malaya. Oh, well, now Malaya's kind of coming out now of the woodwork, isn't she? Helping do searches for other children because every child matters except for Jack and Lily. Haley's narrative is attack Daniel. It's like they each have a job. well, Malaya certainly doesn't get paid for that. It's like they each have a role. Weird. No one ever will, unfortunately. I'll keep doing. I'll keep doing it in my ADHD brain controls it, or is it narcissist? I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm gonna jump in the shower. Good day, Sonny. Remember, I'm an open book. That was just about the love you, beautiful. Oh, I guess we're at the end. Huh. Mm-hmm. Huh. I actually thought there was more than that. Story 4. I actually thought, God, I'm so hot, you guys. Who sent the red heart May 4th? What? Bye. Bye, all, Lily and Jack. Bye, Lynn. Or no, that was Lynn. Iris. Ooh. Like my eye iris? Iris. You don't really hear that name too often, do you? Iris. Like it was an older name before. Right? Iris. I don't really know. I've never met an Iris. It's a pretty name, though. Sunny using Medea memes. Just trying to take a look here. Scroll up, Sunny. Ben, don't boss me around. Don't tell me what to do. In the text messages between Daniel and Malaya, who sent the heart May 4th at 1:05? Is that in one of the things that I showed? That in the text message between Daniel and Malaya. Was that in the message? Because now that you're saying that, I think it was Malaya. Oh yeah, right here. I don't know. Spiked after she woke up. That wouldn't that be love you? Okay. I think that was Daniel. Yeah, because that's right. That's right. That was May 4th. That's right. Now that you say that, thank you for catching that again, because I forgot about that as I was reading this. That was on May 4th. This message is old. But yeah, then the next message was May 4th. I remember seeing that. You're right. And it's kind of like, I know Anita says that on Monday, Daniel sent her money. You know? Yeah. Read the thing again? Sure. Well, whatever date that was, but this is December 16th. Love you. Okay, hold on. I don't know. Because obviously, if this is the next message, right? Because it's kind of one of those things like, why would you just randomly say K? So it's almost like, love you. And then the next message is K. Then it's love you, beautiful. Fuck, my husband always says that word. Maybe I shouldn't trust him. Love you, beautiful. Not sure if you have your phone in the window, but I thought I'd send a message letting you know I'm thinking of you. That's at 9:39 a.m. Then at 2:55 p.m. That's probably when Malaya got her fucking ass out of bed, people. Like, seriously. I just put my phone in the window and now I've been missing you and just wanting this day to end so I can see you. Meadow has a bad fever. She spiked it just after she woke up. That's quite the fucking time frame, eh? Between 9:39 to 2:55 for her to see that. And then May 4th, right, is the heart. That must have been a fucking code or something. Here's the heart code love. Stick together, code love. Yeah. Exactly. Who knows? Yeah. Oh my God, this live's been just 3 hours already. Okay, you guys, I am so hot. I have to work tomorrow. So I just wanted to go over that, but yeah, May 4th. I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me about that May 4th part. I have to screenshot that one. Let me screenshot that bad boy again. Forgot about that. I knew it at the time, but hell, I overlooked it. So thanks for that, guys. Anyways, okay, you guys. That's all I'm gonna do for today. And yeah. Oh, poll. Shit, where's the poll? Oh, there it is. So it says Malaya thinks possibly the children were taken, but RCMP said no signs. Say no signs. Thoughts? 52% says she's full of it. This is after 165 votes. She's the one that hid them, 11%. Maybe some random person did, 7%. RCMP say this because they know, 30%. I mean, that's a hard one because it's kind of like probably a lot of people believe both. She's full of shit and because the RCMP know on that one. But you guys, thank you guys. 1 second here. Tumor is shrinking, but the treatment is getting best of her, she said. Pray for her. Big hugs and prayers. Oh, 1 second here. See, Rhonda's in the house as well. Hello, beautiful Rhonda. I was just thinking about you the other day, actually. Love you. Thank you for everything you do. Jack and Lily's names out there. Yeah. Tell me how your husband's doing. Sunny, can you check the settings on the Streamlabs? What am I checking the settings for? Who removed their channel? Yeah. Who removed their channel, Ben? And what am I asking, Streamlabs? Love you too, Rhonda. I can't just block Streamlabs. Streamlabs is like the protector. I removed that comment from Rhonda because it was too long. Yeah. So I don't really know. Streamlabs had updated, and then I finally updated it, and now it does weird shit. It's removing caps. Okay, so yeah, that one I'll have to look at with Streamlabs, and just see what it entails. I'll take a look at that. But who removed the channel? Hmm. If who blocks Streamlabs? Streamlabs is worse than. Thanks for the live, Sunny. Hi, Tomlu. See, it sent the message and then it said, please refrain from sending long messages. Right, exactly. Streamlab drops all the links and stuff. Thanks for the live. Have a great day at work tomorrow. Love you. Remember prayers for Jack and Lily. And I always believe something is going to break soon. Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to take a look. Thanks, Cheryl. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's what it's great for is all the links that, it can drop throughout the lives and stuff like that. But I'll have to take a look because obviously it changed. Before it just used to be on or off and filter. But at the moment it's showing like it's different. Now it says off and I have it on the lowest one, right? It's not even on it's like low, medium, high. Good night, you guys. Let the mods decide if a comment needs to be removed. See, I don't even know how to do that shit, Ben. To be honest with you. I'll look at it. I'll tell you. I'll look at that. But anyways, you guys, we'll do prayers for Jack and Lily. And thank you guys all for being here. And just going to do one more thing. Oh. Yeah, good thing I did the one more thing, right, Pinky? Um, 6,804. Pinky 2 hours ago, Pinky McIntosh did $100 donation. And wait, what? And Joyous did 687 2 hours ago. Well, fuck, Joyous. Well, shit. You guys, crazy. I'm glad I checked that. I thought, you know what? Let me just refresh it before I go. Pinky. I just checked the poll. And Joyous. What the shit? Belinda, are you still here? She's probably in bed. Holy shit. The poll was, 51% she's full of shit. 11, she hid them. Maybe some random person did 8%, and 31 said RCMP say this because they know. Joyous, that's awesome. Yeah. Pinky. Joyous. Crazy. Well, thank you guys so much for supporting Belinda on this GoFundMe. Shit. This one was $6.96 9 days ago. This one's $6.87. Pinky did 100 2 hours ago. Shit. Anyways. Thank you, you beautiful people. Beautiful people. Beautiful people. Oh, Ben. Ben. All right, Ben, you just didn't want me to leave you. Can you see him sweating? Let's see. Hi, Violet. Let's see, Ben. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Come on now. Mhm. Okay, so Billy Girly Girl got a membership from Ben. Jen B12, Debbie Jean did. Truth and Beauty received a gifted membership by Ben. Sharon Parker received a membership by Ben. So there you go. Hmm. Ah, there you guys go. Uh, thank you guys. Thank you, mods. And yeah, you'll see that Pinky has one. Joyous has one. Should be Share Cares. Yeah. I desert you, Ben, for cheesecake. Actually, you know what my husband bought tonight? No, it wasn't you, Ben. He bought carrot cake. And the best part of carrot cake is the icing on top. we do love Ben and Sharon. Yeah. So again, just a reminder, when Alexa does have time and come back, she's gone till the end of August. So I forgot she was gone. But anyways, I'm going to love it when she's able to join us and talk about the interview with Malaya from a criminal profiler, body language expert point of view. It's not that simple. It's not that simple, Ben, or else I would. But it's not that simple. Streamlabs isn't exactly the funnest program you ever want to deal with. I'll tell you that. Jesus, I know. On there. Pinky, check the poll and the GoFundMe. Pinky, wait. Wait, is Pinky? Pinky, are you behind?
79 cents. You're awesome. Thank you. Check the poll and go fund.
Pinky, are you behind? Because I've done the poll twice now. And I've refreshed the GoFundMe. Love carrot cake. I'm just wondering if Pinky's behind because I've done both a couple of times. Pinky donated $100 to the GoFundMe an hour ago. Joyous donated $687 2 hours ago. Yeah, I'm just thinking because I just can't see that she's asking me that, even though I've already did that. Right, Pinky? Who's Charmaine? On there. Okay. Okay, you guys. I am so hot. Oh, maybe I should quickly do this. Sammy from Miami, $1.99 super chat. Share Cares, $2.79 super chat. Want answers for Jack and Lily. Share Cares has been a member for 9 months. Colleen did a super sticker there for $2. Wisdom and Beauty for $6.99. Let's see. Sing Birdie did 10 jewels. 5 jewels from Donna. 10 jewels from Sandra McGilvery. JJ 200 jewels. Grey Wolf member for 3 months. He needs to be locked up. Peggy Day was 350 jewels. Finger heart. Pinky, $6.99 super chat. Justice will come. Cheryl, $2.79 super sticker. The world awaits one word of truth. Share Cares did 10 jewels. Joyous did a $50 super chat. Thank you for keeping Jack and Lily in the front of the public. Prayers for Belinda and her family. Whoops, almost missed over Ben. Ben gifted. It's a Crime and Shame membership. So thank Ben. Thank you, Ben. Missed you. And Pinky did $2.79, and she said check the poll in the GoFundMe. So that's why I was like, maybe she doesn't know she's behind or something. LOL. Anyways, thank you to everyone who donated. Someone will post burner soon. Okay, you guys, I am heading out here. See you next time I see you. I'm not sure when that is. We'll see. Maybe tomorrow night, maybe not. We'll see. Anyways, thank you guys, and you guys have a great night. Prayers and justice for Jack and Lily, and I'll be sure to share that GoFundMe amount with Belinda. And I know that, of course, you guys overwhelm her heart as well. Anyways, just going to end the stream now, of course. Prayers. Thank you guys. Have a great night. And I guess have a good rest of your weekend because tomorrow's Sunday. All right. Nice to see you, my Ben. Night, guys.